Does your phone, if it buzzes, it's going to vibrate the table?
Yeah, I'll just...
Mine shouldn't do anything, but I'll keep it in my pocket.
Did you mute yours?
Mine's on silent, yes. So
That's right, folks. You're watching us take care of our phones. So we're trying the whole video thing again. I think I've got most of the video issues resolved this time.
We are at
not be the most spectacular frame rate per minute.
But now you can see us in a better resolution, which
We're hoping.
will scare you.
And you can see how bald 3 of us are.
Yes. And for some reason, I look fatter. I don't know why, but I do. How many cameras are on me anyway? Okay. 3. Okay. Here we go. You guys ready?
actually only 2, because the third one, or the very first one, is on just me and Eric.
I do like that when you see me from behind, it's Star Wars right across the top of my head. So.
Okay, here we go. Hey, folks. Welcome to this episode of the GalaxyCast. I have a full studio today. I have with me Eric, the artist.
I love Kylo Ren and Stimpy.
I have with me Austin the Numpty.
I don't like being called that at all.
That's his favorite name ever. And I have with me Gary the Stud.
That would be me.
That'd be you. Gary, it's your birthday today.
Unfortunately.
Happy birthday from the
Happy
studio.
birthday to you. That's enough.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Dun, dun, dun,
Well, no, we don't
dun,
have-
dun, dun, dun.
We don't have copyright to the rest of the song.
Oh, that's
so
true.
you know, we
That's
can't.
true. If you broadcast that song, you have to pay. You have to pay like $800.
I know,
it's
for that
ridiculous.
song.
Just $1.
For happy birthday?
Anyway.
I think it's a lot. Anyway,
So, we don't owe anything because we didn't finish it.
Yes,
so
we
less
didn't.
than 8 seconds, we're good. It's Gary's birthday today, but that's not the only reason we are here today. We are here to discuss Star Wars!
there's so much to talk about.
And more. but it's mostly Star Wars stuff.
There's a war in the stars.
Yes. For those
So-
of you wondering time-wise when this falls, Comic-Con ended yesterday.
Yes.
So we have a lot to talk about.
A lot to talk about. So, San Diego Comic-Con drops not a Star Wars trailer,
No.
but a Star Wars behind the scenes. Now, first, before we even talk about the behind the scenes they came out with, what did you guys think of that idea? Not having a trailer, but having a behind the scenes as a preview? Because they did say they would not be a trailer at San Diego Comic-Con, so we at least were prepared with that.
Yes.
Excellent.
You thought it was a good idea, Gary?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah?
Because the more you show about the movie, it just turns people away. They see, oh, well, now I see what's going on. I don't
Well,
want to be part
you've
of it.
heard your mother and I discussing, like, one of the things I don't like about trailers is if you watch enough trailers of a movie, suddenly you don't need to go see the movie.
Yes.
Because you've seen the
Yeah.
movie in the trailers.
Well, not only that, but they'll show all the good parts in the trailer.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. Click. My wife hates the movie Click because if you watch the trailers for Click, you saw the best parts of the movie.
Right.
So she went to the theaters to see that movie with me, and she was like, that sucked. Because the best parts of the movie were in the trailer. She already
Yeah.
seen them.
Well,
Well, here's the thing about Star Wars at Comic-Con. They did, and as everyone knows, and this is getting a little ahead of just talking about the behind the scenes. If you by now you all know what Star Wars did.
Right.
They had a panel, hour long. They brought out everybody. The big three were there: Carrie Fisher, Mark Hamill, and Harrison Ford came out with a smile on his face.
Yeah.
Yay.
Bizarre.
Right? Like, I didn't even know what to do about
Yeah,
that. I was like,
did a amazing panel. You can watch it online. The entire panel's online. Dropped the trailer, not just or the behind the scenes footage, not just for the audience, but immediately online, so that people could enjoy it in high res and not some bootlegged video. And then the best part, gave lanyards to everyone in the room, ushered them out to a Star Wars concert at the marina for the fans that waited in line, and they all got a lightsaber and enjoyed a Star Wars musical concert.
Now, I've got a flip side to this.
Okay.
Because my
Flip
buddy, Kevin Smith, got
boy.
screwed.
Which
By
not
J.J.
the
Abrams
Kevin Smith we know.
Yes.
Oh, that Kevin
the Kevin Smith.
You notice he called him his buddy.
Well, sorry.
They're
Hank.
like this.
Well, not like that. Jason and I might be like
Yeah.
that. Kevin and I are like this.
Jason wants you to steal, make mock-ups
he wants
of
me to
things.
mock-ups
so.
of things and steal things from
no,
Stan Lee. But
no. Yeah, he wanted you to buy something from Stan Lee's
so I
collection.
can remake it. Anyway,
But
So Kevin Smith got screwed how?
he was the next person in Hall H
Oh, and I heard
after Star
about
Wars.
this.
So he comes out.
I didn't get this. Now I do.
Oh yeah, he comes out and 6,000 people are getting up and leaving.
Yes, I heard about this because people posted pictures online of the Kevin Smith
Panel.
without any context, and I thought the same thing. I'm like, wow, there was like nobody
Yeah.
in the crowd, and I thought that's awful. Why didn't no one
Yeah,
come
why
to
did
see
they
Kevin
do-
Smith?
why-
Now I understand why.
Everybody got he
Hall H
never-
was empty.
See now, I see both sides of the story. I do. I see both sides of the concept here. J.J. Abrams wanted to do it as a surprise. He didn't want anybody to know.
Right.
Nobody knew. By the way, not even the person, the head of San Diego Comic-Con knew
Really?
that J.J. Abrams was going to do this. Nobody knew, except for, obviously, the Symphony Orchestra and just a couple people inside the LFL group.
Right. Well,
and that was it.
That's amazing. That's amazing to pull that off.
So he pulled that off, which I give him some credit for that. That was cool to an extent. But on the flip side of that, he didn't tell anybody for somebody like Kevin Smith who was coming on after him. So Kevin Smith tweets out this picture, right, of like 5 people in the audience. By the way, he did end up getting a better audience as time went on.
Yeah, I can imagine the hall would refill.
By the time
everyone learns Hall H is empty. Get to Hall H.
Get into Hall H, right? And by the time his daughter got on to talk, there was another picture it made it on the net. The hall was like halfway to 3/4 of the way full.
Well, there you go.
By the
and
time his daughter
that
got
hall
on.
seats what? It's almost 6,000 people.
Over 6,000.
So yeah, to get that much in
6,500
an hour
total.
during an hour panel, he brought him in.
He brought him in, but you know he did kind of flip out and posted on Twitter for J.J. Abrams, thanks for screwing me over, and I think he was upset.
But here's the thing, and Kevin, you got a tour. You were brought in personally to have a tour of the whole setup, and they gave you access to stuff, and they know you're infamous for talking, and they were still nice enough to give you all that and to show you cool stuff, and then you talked about it online. One of the most touching things I've seen lately is his talking about stepping onto the Millennium Falcon
and how he almost cried.
Yeah,
when he
it was
did.
great. So it's Star Wars. Expect it to suck everything away from everything else. It's gonna happen.
Now, I thought it was interesting, though, because some of my friends kind of put Kevin in his place. He complained about what happened.
Yeah.
But some people said, hey, welcome to following you
And
at a Comic-Con. And I kind of went,
Burn.
we've been there. Gary and I've talked about it. We've been there.
and the main thing is stop being a diva.
Right, like welcome to the rest of us who come on after Kevin Smith, or what was going on at Atlantic City while we were going on.
He did his little panel, then he went back and sat in his hotel.
Well, that happened to him. He never came out,
Come on.
which bothered me a little bit.
Yeah, I was
Come
hoping
on to
see
the
him.
floor, talk to some people.
It wasn't super crowded.
Even Jason Mewes was kind of mocking him out for being a diva and not coming
his
out.
whole podcast was there, and he couldn't come.
And he couldn't come out on the floor and
10
talk it
minutes.
up. Yeah,
Mike Zamsick or
Mike Zapsik.
Mike Zap. No, there was
Or are you talking about Ming Chen?
Walter. Walter wasn't there.
Walter, yeah, that's right. But
Walter don't count. He don't know what the Thundercats
well,
are.
Ming said that too. Walter doesn't count. But what panel, Austin, was going on at the same time as our prop panel? I forget. Was it the Walking Dead panel, I think? Like, we got there and we flipped through and we're like, okay, what's going on at the same time as ours? And during our prop panel was the Walking Dead panel. And I think that's
And you're
right.
just like,
And we were both kind of like, right. No, so it was kind of like, I really half expected to walk into that prop panel and have like 5 people.
Yeah.
I was surprised.
I was at the table, so I have no clue what's going on.
Well, but you were
don't know
there
what-
when we were looking
You
through.
have no clue what's going on anyway. So what's the difference?
back to Star Wars though. We gotta get back to, we're already back into Atlantic City, which was a month and a half ago. We gotta get back to Star Wars. San Diego Comic-Con. I liked what they did. I thought it was cool.
Yeah, but I think Kevin Smith finally understood what it's like to follow somebody, and he's never really had to do that too often. I'm not saying it's good. He got to an extent. Maybe it's good to be humbled every once in a while.
Maybe.
And experience that.
Maybe they'll draw him out of his hotel room and go to the convention.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He needs to eat a little humble pie every now and again, and maybe this is good for him to eat that humble pie just a little bit.
Now,
So-
not to discourage people from watching commercials, but particular things such as like Disney, Pixar advertisements, they don't show anything that's in the movie. Monsters University, everything that was shown in the commercials weren't.
I disagree. They show parts of the movie in their trailers. They do.
Well, that's one of the things I just read recently. There was just an article online today about Joss Whedon talking about a definitive director's cut coming out of Age of Ultron.
Yes.
And he said he doesn't want to do it. He doesn't artistically want to redo the movie. He's like, what I released in the theaters is what I wanted. Yes, it had cuts and things.
Right.
He says there'll be extra stuff in the extras, but he doesn't want to merge it back in and make a movie.
Right.
And someone was talking about how there's a lot of scenes in the commercial for Age of Ultron that weren't
never
in the
made
movie.
it in the movie. Yeah.
So people were like, "Oh, we want to see those things," and he's like, "You'll see them in the bonus features as deleted scenes, but he doesn't want to remerge it into a new cut."
Which is what George Lucas did with Revenge of the Sith.
With
and
everything.
that actually
Oh.
bothered me. Revenge of the Sith, the fact he never put I think it would have made the movie better. I do. I think it would have made the movie better.
Okay, I have not seen the release scenes. That need to do.
So, all All right, so we had a lot of trailers drop at San Diego Comic-Con
yeah.
beyond the Star Wars stuff.
And just to end on the Star Wars thing, one of my favorite shots is there's a shot of Mark Hamill, Carrie Fisher, and Harrison Ford looking out over the sea of lightsabers being waved, and they're all huge grins.
Yeah, beaming.
Even Harrison Ford, which makes me believe he had even with the hurt leg and all the stuff, I think he had a positive experience making this movie, which it gets me excited.
Well, I don't know if that's the case or if the fact that he survived his airplane crash. And
Well, that too, new lease on life.
Yeah.
But he has said, there was an interview where he had when he read the script, he was happy. He said there's a lot of reverence for what we did, and I'm happy to come back. And that to me says a lot, because he doesn't have to. He's Harrison Ford.
Although I found it interesting that he tried to be humble about it, right? Like, oh, I'm happy I'm back on Star Wars. But then his next response took some things away from him when he said, but I hope the new cast members understand that this may not do the great things for their career.
No. I thought he said your lives are over, meaning you're always going to be identified with Star Wars. That's what he means.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm not sure that was a good way to come out of that. You know what I mean? Because again, it kind of a little pot shot. At, it ended his career, and I don't think it did.
No, I don't think he meant it ended his career. I think he meant it typecast people. Right. I mean, like Mark Hamill could not get work for the longest time because he was too identified with. He did small stuff, but he never had the big career. Even Carrie Fisher had trouble for a while, and didn't move on. Like,
well, Carrie Fisher's had more.
I think Carrie Fisher's
drugs, not her career. But people come out of these. He's also probably thinking of Hayden Christensen and all these people from the prequels who just.
Well, look at So this brings us to another point. Look at Jake Lloyd.
Oh yeah, there was an article.
There was a big article about Jake Lloyd, and my son's looking at me with weird looks because I never let him see this article. But he got into a car crash.
He was being chased by.
I know, Sir. What's his face? Dooku's dead.
Right.
That was in Star Wars Inside.
Well, we're getting there.
We'll get there. Oh. But Jake Lloyd got arrested, chased by the police
in a
high-speed pursuit. In what, North Carolina or South Carolina?
North or South Carolina?
I can't remember which Carolina. One of the Carolinas.
He was running from the sharks.
Who's Jake Lloyd?
Right.
A little Anakin Skywalker in Phantom Menace.
That's it.
This is podcasting.
Hey! I don't keep track of names.
Star Wars card.
I don't keep track of actors' names. I keep track of roles.
Give me your Star Wars card.
So yeah, he got arrested.
You're done.
He got arrested.
There's a mug shot of him and everything.
And his first response to that was interesting. He's like, Star Wars ruined me. And seriously, that was the first thing he said to the police. And I'm like, I don't know if that's a reason to go on a high-speed chase for hours on end. But
he's probably drunk or high.
But I still look at. You're right. I mean, to an extent, this poor man will never be the same.
No, he was a kid, and he didn't really have a choice.
No. And I do think, to an extent, it doesn't excuse him from having a high-speed chase and everything. No. Do I think it maybe ruined part of his career?
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
God, yeah.
I think it ruined part of his career.
Because he did Jingle All the Way before he did Star
Yeah.
Wars. He could have been a child actor that went on and became a adult actor.
Yeah.
And Star Wars had the prequels had such wooden acting, especially him, because, a kid needs a director. And
I still think this is all proof that George Lucas can't direct.
I don't think
he's a good writer. He's a good producer. I'm not sure he's a good director.
He's a good imaginer. He comes up with
what I mean, like
great
story
concepts and stuff like that.
Great story writer.
Well, I don't know if he's good
from now till the end of time.
I don't know if he's a good. He's not a good script writer necessarily. His dialogue leaves stuff to be desired.
Yes,
story writer, I'll give you that. Yes.
Yeah. So okay, let's move on to something that my son already previewed a little bit.
Sorry.
I think we should have at least 3 seconds of silence.
3
for Sir
Christopher Lee.
Christopher Lee, who passed away. Do we know what his age was? I'm not even sure how old he was.
92.
92? Okay, I was going to say 87.
He was
92.
getting up there in age.
Here's
wow.
Oh my God, the stories that came out though that you hear about his life and what he did, and
my goodness,
he was damn James Bond for real in like World War II.
Yeah.
There's the great story, I'm sure everyone's heard it by now, where he was apparently on a scene with Peter Jackson, and Peter Jackson was trying to say, okay, I want you got to really imagine what it would be like to be stabbed in the back. And Christopher Lee turned to Peter Jackson and said, I don't have to imagine it. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
It's just the stuff he's been through. And then
and that's his personal life, but then you look at his acting career, like I just looked up, I went to IMDb, I'm like, all right, let's just see Christopher Lee, what did he do? And it's like, when you look at the
what
list.
didn't he
Hobbit,
do?
Lord of the Rings. Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings.
It goes farther back than that.
God,
Relax a minute, right? He was the only person alive on the set of Lord of the Rings that knew Tolkien.
Yeah, he knew him personally.
He actually knew J.R.R. Tolkien personally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was Dracula. I mean,
I was gonna say Dracula was his quintessential role.
Didn't he
I mean,
play Sherlock Holmes in one?
I'm pretty sure.
I mean, he
did somewhere
played
along the way.
just the sheer the Hammer horror films and all the stuff
Yeah.
he's done.
The amount of horror films he did was incredibly. I
And
could not believe how deep that was.
When I met him at Celebration 3,
Yeah.
he was an awesome.
Well, as a
person
person,
to meet.
he's an awesome guy.
I mean,
Yeah.
he was
I never-
he was right there with your fans.
I
and
never got to
everything.
meet him. I wish I could have. And I mean, he fluently spoke like 7 languages, and just the man was a renaissance.
smart. I mean, smart
Yeah.
as a whip, from what I understand. He was a very, very smart man.
He's a loss. He is a big
He's
loss.
a huge loss to the industry.
And Bob, if you ever wanted to see me probably be like you with George Lucas, it was me with Christopher Lee.
Yeah.
And actually, I just
Dang it, Dan,
just
missed
did
it.
a
I missed it.
for
Yeah.
people who don't know that I'm a chalk artist. I am. I just did a chalk festival this weekend, and someone did a giant Christopher Lee face of him as Dracula with the teeth open, the famous image with the blood on the lips, and it was gorgeous.
That
It
was
came out
the
really nice.
quintessential Dracula
Yeah.
picture.
I saw
always
that, and I'm
loved.
just like, that's
Yeah,
a
like
nice
your heart
tribute.
went out
Yeah,
for that, you know.
I felt so good.
He's
It
one of
was
those
cool.
guys that for years we will be talking about
Yeah.
all the things he did.
Yeah.
I still
is a
think
legend.
nobody could have played Saruman except Christopher Lee.
he was
There
perfect.
is
He was
nobody
perfect.
that
And-
could have been the opposite of Gandalf. There's no way.
And not only that, but he also was opposite Peter Cushing in a lot of the Dracula.
Oh,
movies.
him and
Yes.
Peter Cushing
Yeah,
had
Peter
so
Cushing,
many
yeah.
roles together.
Yeah. Yeah, just wow. Great loss.
Cushing was Van Helsing a lot,
Yep.
and he was the Dracula. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And he was also Frankenstein.
Yeah, he did play Frankenstein even.
Christopher Lee was Frankenstein's monster.
Yes.
And Peter Cushing was Dr. Frankenstein.
I see. I got to go back. It
Oh,
was.
wow, I don't
yeah.
remember that
I remember. There's a famous. As soon as you see his Frankenstein, you'd recognize it. He had like a milky white eye, and it
Oh,
was
really?
a very iconic image. There's
A
actually
different version of the Frankenstein.
It's
Yeah,
done more
it-
as a corpse.
It's all Hammer films.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll try that
I
out.
have to go back and start rewatching a lot of those old Hammer movies. Just
I grew up watching
atmosphere.
all them. I grew up watching all that.
Okay, so that's our Star Wars coverage.
That's probably the most sentimental I've gotten over someone passing away in a while.
I'll admit, I saw that. I never even post. People were surprised, like, why didn't you post something about that? I was actually so distraught I couldn't.
Yeah.
And my wife's like, are you okay? You know, like she watched me for like a good 3 or 4 days, and said, "Are you okay?" And I said to her, I'm actually very distraught about Christopher Lee. I can't even put anything online
Yeah.
because I can't even put into words what I feel about the fact that this guy is gone, and we will never have some of those films back.
Yep.
And those characters that he played, they will never be played again. And I'm like, nobody can do them.
All the classic roles he played and all the different genres he's been in.
That's it.
too,
You know,
so
it's amazing the things he's done. So I couldn't even post anything. That's why I didn't. So if you were wondering,
And of
why I
course,
didn't,
to
that's
bring
why.
him back to Star Wars,
Count
Count Dooku
I mean, come on.
has left the building.
Yep.
he's one with the Force.
He's one with the Force, and he's a legend along with all those characters that you remember, like Leonard Nimoy. And yes, I know I'm jumping universes. Shut up.
He's
He goes beyond Leonard Nimoy.
Well, he
Sorry,
does,
bud.
yeah.
You can't compare him with him.
Yeah.
I'm saying that he's up there, like Leonard Nimoy. Okay.
Oh, Leonard Nimoy's not up there.
No.
Not in my book. Anyway.
I put Leonard Nimoy. I put up pretty high. He was an icon. I mean, yes, Christopher Lee is. But
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
The day George Lucas
trailers.
dies, I will be in my room
Trailers. We gotta talk about
because there was a
there were a
boatload.
ton of trailers that
Trailers?
came out
House trailers?
at San Diego Comic Con. So let's
Boat
talk about the
trailers.
one that I think was probably the one everybody was waiting for. They knew the Batman versus Superman, Dawn of Justice, right? Am I getting that right?
Batman v Superman. Okay.
Sorry, Batman v Superman. Dawn of Justice, the official title.
Yes, Dawn of Justice.
That trailer came out.
And the parody's going to be Batman loves Superman.
Oh yeah.
Batman hurts Superman, sorry.
What did you guys think of that trailer?
The more I've watched it, the more I've become intrigued because
Okay.
I've begun to see the details that are added into it that people are talking about online and picking out. Just on our last watching, we noticed that Batman's fighting a bunch of soldiers that all have Superman
That's
S's on their
right.
shoulders.
Spoiler
So-
alert.
Yeah.
Well, it's not spoiler. If you watch the trailer, you'll see
It's
it.
all over online. There's
But,
no spoiler about that.
Oh yeah, don't you remember Bob, everything we talk about? We have to say spoiler.
Okay, sorry. Spoiler alert. We're going to talk about the trailer, which has scenes in it from the movie.
So go watch it online first, then come back.
Yeah. So
We'll be here.
But yeah, very, very more interesting the more I watched it.
I like the fact that Donna Prince is in it.
They're going to have her not just be Wonder Woman, but
Not
Diana
just
Prince.
yeah. Like I said, I'm
I
still
actually,
at that
I
stage.
actually,
Go
I
ahead.
actually like the Wonder Woman costume they did. They actually did a more accurate to the comic book version.
It's nice. It's very much Wonder Woman meets Xena with a lot of Greek influence.
Yeah, it definitely has that. there's still nothing in these trailers that makes me want to go like, I gotta go see this movie.
Right.
There's still nothing there that makes me scream like, I have to go see Batman and Superman.
I have to see Batman v Superman before I see Ant-Man.
Ouch.
Well, okay,
There has
and
not been anything in Ant-Man in my
and it's what this is what everyone has already discussed
Oh, you're
online.
gonna
I'm
take
sure
it, I
we're,
go see
we're
it.
always a bit behind, but to me, the thing I like about it, and the thing that also makes me laugh, is that Man of Steel came out. Man of Steel ended. Everybody complained. Oh my God, it was so violent, so much destruction. That's not Superman.
I complained. Remember, we talked about.
yeah.
I complained the fact that he didn't try to save the human beings.
Just
where was his compassion?
Get Zod out of the
Didn't care.
city. No, buildings going down, everything. So
Right.
anyway, and Snyder came out basically not caring, saying
Right.
no, blah, blah, blah. And people are now saying, oh, see, he had this plan. He was going to, no. It's already been known that he was going to go in a different direction with the sequel. And then once Batman came in and Ben Affleck came on, and they started getting more, DC got their stuff together, that they've rewritten this to be, basically now they're addressing the thing that so many people hated about the first movie, and they've made it a major plot point of the sequel, which at least to me goes, okay, I like that continuity. It makes sense the way they bring Batman in, being he was there during the destruction. It looks like he's coming out of retirement as the Batman. He probably was retired at the time Man of Steel came out, and he's coming back. He's basically saying these people are too powerful for the world, and it's up to me to do stuff about it. And I like those ideas.
The one thing that did grab my attention that you pointed out, and you posted it on my Facebook feed, so if you follow my Facebook feed, you just saw this, is the scene where they show Zod shooting through the building.
Yes.
And that it lines up with what we assume is Wayne Financial Building being ripped apart.
Yeah.
And if that's the playoff, okay, at least I buy into this movie.
Yes, I buy
into it now. But it still
worries me how they're going to fit everybody else in, because as we know,
That's where
Wonder
I'm
Woman's
like-
in it. Aquaman is in it, and even they've a movie version of the Flash is in
right.
it. Those are the ones I know about. There might even be more.
well, they
Aquaman's
hinted
in
that
it?
there's going to be a Green Lantern in it.
And they've hinted at Martian Manhunter.
Oh yeah, they
that's,
have.
that's right, Martian Manhunter.
So-
Which is why I keep saying that when it comes to actually time to be in the theater, it's going to be JLA.
It's
it's pretty much going to set up the whole.
and I'm just
trailer.
wondering if those characters are literally going to be like at the end of the movie, stepping forward out of their obscurity to be like, we're here, we
Right.
exist. The world must acknowledge our presence.
I guess
type
that's the thing
ending.
I was disconcerted about is Jason Momoa did not show up as I wanted to see him on the screen.
Yeah.
I was dying to see Aquaman.
Yeah, they're saving
I
stuff.
know. I just said that. Aquaman, of all people. I hate the character. But I wanted to see that costume we keep talking about.
I still
'Cause
think-
the new Aquaman costume looks...
Yeah,
It's awesome.
I still think they're going to do the sound effect, and he's gonna walk up, and it's going to be like wong, 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 calling fish in. So I'm just waiting for that moment.
and you're going to have a little dolphin coming going...
No, it's going to be a little guppy come up. Yeah, what do you want? You know how hard it got me? I had to get over here. I had to switch 4 buses.
There's going to be a scene where he's in someone's apartment, like Lois Lane's apartment, and he's going to turn to her and be like, "Your goldfish is hungry. Feed it."
And then right after that, the Wonder Twins show up. Wonder Twin powers activate.
Become
in
a
the
boat.
form of
in the form of a bucket of ice.
submarine, a bucket of ice. Okay, so that was the Batman versus Superman.
But now you were saying what was your favorite scene? You said it already.
Yeah, when Superman gets to the Batmobile and rips the roof right off of it and stuff.
Oh yeah.
It is a nice ending to the trailer.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I have one problem. I think we're missing a little bit of information about the Robin costume. Anyone who watches the trailer, you're going to find a Robin costume in it that has got the Joker.
Well, it's what people
That's
think.
it's
We
speculated.
think it's the Robin costume. It
We
looks
don't know
like
what
it
is.
could be.
It could also, and it's
But
been
it's
dawning on me as
holding-
we've been sitting here.
It's holding a
It's
staff.
holding trident, I think, and maybe that's the Aquaman costume sitting there.
No, I don't.
Because
No.
he's all tattooed up, so I don't know.
No, I know. I just, you know what I mean? Like,
It does kind of look a little bit like a bat suit.
It did look like a bat suit, but I just wonder if
Or
it's a
Nightwing?
Robin.
It could be. It might
And
be.
it's-
could be
might be Nightwing.
It could be Nightwing, and it's all spray painted with "the joke's on you" or something
Right.
like that. So people have,
And that looks like something that is Joker would
I
have done.
feel
Yeah.
like we're
Right.
missing information. I would like
Austin,
to know.
that's what a trailer's all about,
Right.
dude.
I
Okay.
feel like we need to know.
No, you don't. It's
Okay.
a trailer.
Okay.
I know in the movie we're probably going to find out more
Exactly.
information,
Oh, we
but
will.
I don't know if that's going to be like backstory.
That's why they want
or-
you to be like, I want to know,
Okay.
because
Yeah.
then you go to the movie.
First of all, Batman is a lot older in this one than he's ever appeared with Superman.
yeah.
I
Yes,
understand.
if you've ever seen Batman before, don't expect
And Luther.
the young Studley Batman. You just
And
ain't gonna get it.
Luther is a lot younger
Yeah, than you've ever
than you've ever
expected
seen him
before.
too.
Right.
Which would explain why he's got hair.
Right. So
I still think that's a wig.
It could be.
that was the Batman versus Superman, Batman v Superman
Thank
trailer.
you.
Sorry.
Thank you. Make sure you get it right.
Now, right after that,
Spoiler.
whatever. If you even went on Facebook within the last week, you've seen these.
Yes.
Was the Suicide Squad trailer.
Suicide Squad got released, and it got released officially, so you get to see the high res. That just came out today.
Right. And I'm not a big DC person.
Me neither. I'll admit it, I'm
Marvel all the way. Always really have been. I keep track of DC, but I'm not religiously reading Batman every week. I'll admit I'm all over my Star Wars comics, Captain America. I'm all over that. But it's not like you're going to see me reading The Flash. I stay up on pretty well.
Right.
Yeah,
But-
he's your second favorite character in
Well, it
DC.
is. So, seeing this trailer, I kind of had low expectations going into the trailer. And ironically, I'm more interested in this movie than I am in Batman v Superman. No, I don't know. That's just because I like bad guys sometimes. And the DC comics seem to throw the bad guys into a whole new world.
Suicide Squad hasn't done nothing for me yet.
Yeah, I liked it. There's a couple things I liked about it.
I'll go watch Ant-Man before I watch Suicide
Oh, here we go.
So here we go. It's Batman versus Superman, Ant-Man, Suicide Squad. We've got the rankings.
He's on a roll now because it's his birthday. I think
That's
We're
right.
just rolling
Where
right
do you
out
put
there.
Civil War? Captain America at the top of those?
I haven't seen much about it yet, so I don't know.
Yeah, so he wants
That's
nothing to do with
that's
that.
the wild card pick.
And I will say that so far I'm very disappointed with it.
Of what you know of it, right?
Yeah.
See, I don't, and I've been purposely not reading the articles and stuff, so I don't know much about it.
It's the fact that
Well, Reed Richards can't be in it.
half of the whole
Marvel
war
universe
is not going to be there.
Because it's all Sony owned.
Right.
Because you can't Spider-Man, that's Sony owned.
Nope, Spider-Man.
Spider-Man will be in there.
Sony has made a deal with Marvel to use Spider-Man.
Wow, catch up, dude.
I'm sorry.
Geek card.
No.
You need the Fantastic Four there.
Yeah.
Well, you need
Yeah,
Reed
because
Richards.
you probably
Yes.
have a split
Well, Reed
between
Richards.
the four of them.
Reed Richards opens up the what zone?
The prison.
Yeah.
The
Prison number 42.
In the
Which
negative
is
zone.
In the negative,
negative
zone. Thank
zone.
you. He opens up the negative zone. But we don't have Reed Richards.
I
So
used to
who opens
love.
it up?
I used to love the negative zone the way it was portrayed back in the 80s when I read the
know,
comics with Annihilus and stuff like that. Oh,
know.
it was so cool.
And-
Well, here's the thing,
And,
though.
and the thing is
Gary thinks I'm crazy, but I think they're going to set up the Ant-Man to be the doctor that opens the portal to the negative zone. That's what I think they're going to do. That's their way to fix that.
Unless, what if it's
Since
Pym?
they don't have Reed Richards.
What if
Well,
it's
that's what I'm
the
saying,
older
Pym,
Pym?
the
Okay,
Pym,
yeah.
right, the older
That
Pym.
I could see. I
The
don't see Paul. I
doctor
don't see
older
Paul
Pym.
Rudd doing it.
No. I see Pym doing it
And-
by accident or whatever.
Right.
and I have to give it a big middle finger to that whole theory.
Well, they have
Okay.
to. They have to work around somehow with things. But anyway.
All right.
So back to Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad. We get this trailer, and I have to admit, I don't know much about Suicide Squad. As a matter of fact, we were looking at pictures earlier. I'm going, who's that? Who's that?
that?
Because I don't even know. Like Boomerang, I didn't know that he was on
Captain
Suicide
Boomerang,
Squad.
when he's imprisoned after Flash, he becomes part of the Suicide
So
Squad.
my son's going to start telling me now.
Yes.
Yeah.
He may know these things. He knows them probably more than we do.
I actually
He
do.
knows more about the DC universe.
There's
than I do.
I keep track of both universes.
Give me your geek card. I got to replace it with a nerd card. Yeah.
I actually keep track of both universes. I stay neutral. Everyone's like, you need to pick a side. I say no.
Here's my problem with the trailer.
Yeah.
As everyone knows, Jared Leto's Joker makes an appearance in it,
Yeah.
and Harley Quinn's
Towards the
featured fairly prominently. Take those two out.
What do you
You
have?
got you got like a bunch of mercenaries and what looks like bank robbing scenes from Heat and
Yeah.
a lot of gunfire and stuff. I mean, that's what you've got.
You're right. You're right.
It doesn't.
Except Heat was done better.
Yeah.
He was done good. But that's
with
the
better
problem with
acting.
me is I didn't get the sense that I'm watching I mean, yes, one guy says, "Oh, because of Superman, these guys are coming out of the woodwork, and oh, some of them have abilities or whatever." It didn't necessarily feel to me like it tied in. At least not
Yeah.
through the trailer, and I'm sure you'll get more of that because you do see a shot of Batman on top of the car, and you know the Joker's in it and stuff. So I'm sure it's going to tie in the actual movie. But I worry is it being stripped down to just too much of just like a mercenary squad
Yeah.
with guns?
But that's what it is.
I mean, is Captain Boomerang going to use boomerangs?
Captain Boomerang
Maybe.
is supposed to use his boomerangs.
Or maybe he just boomerangs the bullets.
I mean, that's what he does, the whole Angelino Jolie thing.
Yeah,
He spins them.
Exactly. I was thinking the same thing, Eric.
So I don't know. I just it didn't. I liked the Joker.
Yeah.
I did.
What I would
Well,
like to
the thing that you pointed out about Joker the second time really I heard it better.
You listen.
That laugh
is really good.
and I hope that's the laugh that
All the
Jared
way
Leto
through.
came up with. Because if it is, then
It sounds like
do
an
that
old,
all the time.
It sounds
I'm
like
all
an
over it.
old man cackling, and I liked it.
It was a good
What
one.
I'd like to see is some actor play the Joker and have Mark Hamill's Joker's
Voice.
behind it.
Yes.
because
Well, that's your problem. You've been don't take this the wrong way, but you've been ex-virginized by that Joker. You know, that's the Joker you hear all the time now. You know,
Yeah.
that you're used to
I have
hearing.
yet to see the Batman animated series.
There's a
which
reason
would
I
make
haven't
sense.
shown you that series because I've never watched it myself, so I don't have that vision in my head.
Yeah, neither do I.
The people who've seen that series cannot get that Joker out of their head.
That's the Joker to them. It is,
Right,
and I've heard that. I've heard a
because
whole
it's
generation.
just a quintessential Joker.
It is.
That
I would actually like to see it, Dad. So it's.
anyway. So
But I would like to see, because this is something majorly important with Deadshot. He has a gun attached to his wrist. He has
I think
a wrist
I
gun.
think he probably has that in the movie. I think
although
we
I
just
have to
haven't seen
admit,
it.
you
He-
made the point that he's not supposed to be able to take the eye.
The
right
eye
still
thing's
on.
not supposed to come off.
So
It's
that-
in,
Well,
Through
here's
the
the
solid-
thing. What if by
it's
the end of the
into his-
movie he gets
he's got it
injured and they
implanted.
implant it or something?
Yeah.
I mean, this could be an origin set.
I got to be
build up,
honest.
so.
Of all the people in the movie, the one who has me most worried is Will Smith.
Of course.
I look at all those actors and actresses and I say they could probably pull that role off. And Will Smith, I look at him and I'm like,
It's Will Smith.
I don't know. You know, like I don't get me wrong. I like Independence Day. There's some Will Smith films I
what
love.
about-
I love some of his.
What about
films.
Men in Black? Was that like?
I liked Men in Black. I
Is that
liked Wild Wild West. I'm probably one of the crazy people that liked that movie, but I liked it.
Steampunk West.
Yes,
we
I liked
we
it.
just lost half our listeners on that one.
Thanks, Dad.
But I did. But then if you're gonna, I don't know. Will Smith worries me because again, how many bad guys has he played? And how many
not a lot.
really
He
bad
played-
guys
although
has
in
he
Hitch
played?
he was, or not Hitch, in Hancock. I liked that character, and I wish they did more with that. I think
Yeah,
it
didn't
had
like him in
potential.
Hancock, but
Well,
I thought he was weak.
because he wasn't likable.
But he was weak as a non-likable character. He didn't make me hate him. You know, that's one thing I like
Yeah.
about Darth Vader. I love to hate him.
Right.
I didn't love to hate Hancock.
Well, I don't.
You
That's
know?
the thing is, I think you couldn't hate him too much because they weren't going for that.
No,
But
I know.
I never hated Vader.
Oh, I did.
Gary just bows
Hated
below his
Vader
feet. Vader,
No,
I hated Vader with a
Vader.
passion
No.
when I was a kid. Passion, man. Okay, so there were other trailers too. We can't just get stuck on those.
yes. So that was the Suicide Squad.
We let's flip it over to the Marvel side, which is ironic because the Disney Marvel nothing.
Yeah.
Did you notice that?
People
not
said
a thing.
because a lot of people say they're saving it for D3.
Oh, for
D-
their own little
D23,
show.
the Disney Expo's in August, and that they think they're going to
They're
release
just
everything
gonna
there.
go crazy
yeah,
there.
That's what people are saying.
But you know what, though? You're going to draw people away from San Diego Comic-Con. You keep pulling that kind of garbage. And people are going to get upset with you.
Here's the thing. There's not going to be a flood of trailers coming out of competing things at that point. They're
That's
going to get to
true.
release to the internet and be like, everyone pay attention to everything we're talking about. And people will because it's
Yeah,
all
'cause
that's
they're the
coming out
only
at that
thing that's
time.
going on.
So it's a smart
And
move.
now- you know,
look,
what's
look
cool,
at my
I-
spaghettios, Bob. Look at him. Look at my spaghettios.
Basically.
The great thing about that, Gary, is it's going to be like 2 weeks before we go to Dragon Con, so
Yep.
you know that's
Yeah,
gonna be all
Dragon
over
Con. We'll
DragonCon.
probably see it.
We'll see a whole bunch of that stuff. So anyway,
Sadly, I'm not going.
Yeah.
Well, you're not going to Dragon Con until you're like over 21, maybe 30 at the
after
rate
30,
Dragon
over 30
Con's
is
going.
Yeah.
Jiminy Christmas, what goes on there? Okay, so and that's not even us.
What happens at Dragon Con
Stays
stays
at
at Dragon
Dragon
Con. That's
Okay,
all I've been told.
So the next trailer I want to talk about is X-Men Apocalypse.
Okay,
'cause that's-
which there is no good version to watch.
which is they're all like kind of cruddy versions. They're online.
Yeah.
So thoughts so far about X-Men Apocalypse because it's not much there. We got to see Apocalypse for the first time.
Yeah, it doesn't. The problem with me with that trailer is I feel like it's a series of character shots that doesn't really tell me a cohesive.
There's no storyline.
It doesn't.
obviously.
It doesn't get me tied in to be like, what's this about? It looks like Apocalypse shows up and everyone has to panic and have troubles.
Well, you know what I think they did there is they did. Oh look, Psylocke. Oh look, Jubilee. Oh
Yeah,
look,
there was a
they
lot of
wanted
shots of
you
those,
to
yeah.
kind of- oh look, Apocalypse for the first time. Oh, there's Storm and her
Mohawk,
Mohawk
which is like
Storm style,
which is my favorite Storm
So,
costume.
I mean, to that extent, it did what it was supposed to. Remember,
Yeah.
this is the first trailer. It's kind of like the first trailer for Star Wars.
It's
we
like a
watched
teaser.
it and we were kind of like, there's not much there, but we got to pause
Yeah, but
each
here's
little
the thing.
frame. You know,
here's
like,
the thing. Star Wars had the broadsword blade.
Right.
It had the
There were a couple
cross
things that
It
grabbed
had
you.
those things that people would remember. There's not a single shot from that where I go, wow, I have to see the context of what that is. It's just a series of, well, there's the X-Men again, and there's
you know what has sold it for me? the Horsemen.
I have to watch
one
watch it
shot
again.
of the Four Horsemen.
Yeah, I
Just
got to
one
see it
shot.
again because I got to see them.
If you just
There was-
if I just
Well,
see
you
all
saw
four-
three
you
of
saw
them.
some of them in the hallway sequence, but I wasn't
When-
really paying attention enough,
Right,
and you
yeah.
don't see them well enough.
But what I'm
When-
saying is, like, all four horsemen on their horses, even if they're mechanical horses, I don't care. Put them on a horse and just give me four horsemen, one shot, and I would have been like, oh,
That,
awesome.
That's
We
going to be
never saw it.
that's going to be a flashback scene to when Apocalypse first came into power.
In ancient Egypt. Yeah.
Right.
No, I know what you're
Okay.
saying, but
The horsemen that were in the hallway won't be on a horse.
no, I know, but you get what I'm saying, right? Like,
Yeah, you saw
just put it out there. That's all you had to do.
from
And
the
I'm-
angle in the scene when they're pulling when Magneto's pulling Charles's chair back under Apocalypse control. You saw three of them, and this is a huge spoiler. You saw Storm, you saw Magneto, and you saw Archangel. And I pointed it out, and he thought I was wrong, but I was right. Sty point. So Angel's in there, and he's under Apocalypse control. So there's three of the four. The fourth one's a question mark.
Well, they pull Magneto or they pull Xavier in. Maybe he's going to be the
Isn't
fourth.
Rogue supposed to be the fourth one?
I don't know, and I'm still not convinced that that's going to be the Angel that everybody thinks
Right,
it is.
right.
Right. I'm not sure it's going to be the Archangel Angel.
Well, it's going to be an Archangel, but I'm thinking it's going to be the black girl from the first class.
Oh, really? Oh, that girl.
Pixie?
Pixie?
Yeah,
It
people have been
wasn't
wondering.
Pixie. She was Angel in that. Yes, she
They
was.
refer to her as Pixie. They refer to her as Pixie about 5 times.
I'm pretty sure she's
$5.
Pixie. That's something
$5
we'll have to check at the break.
$5.
Stay on topic.
I'm not.
Stay on
Okay.
topic.
Last one we
Not
got to
betting
talk
any
about
money.
because we're running low on time here. Last one we got to talk about is the Deadpool trailer.
Yes.
It did come out.
I didn't
Yes.
see it.
You didn't see it because it's like riddled with all sorts of expletives.
Vulgarities. And,
I see. So it's very, very violent, very, very
It's going to be
cursing.
rated R when it comes.
Oh, it is
Oh,
a
yeah.
rated R movie.
It's
I
an R
told you.
movie.
You probably. I don't know if you'll go see it. Maybe you will. Probably with me. Okay.
Yeah,
We'll
but
go
Tara
see
won't
it
be
together.
coming along.
No, Tara will not be coming into that movie yet at all. You know, I
I'm
mean,
not a huge fan of Daredevil. Or
like when he
Daredevil,
says
Deadpool.
something like,
Never mind. I'm not a good fan of Daredevil either.
Well, still, I'm not a huge fan of Deadpool because I don't like the fact that he talks too freaking much.
that's
He
He's
needs
the
to
merc
shut
with
up.
the mouth.
that's his
he's a
point.
merc with the mouth. Yeah,
I know he breaks the fourth wall. He does this.
Regardless if he breaks the fourth wall, that's the whole thing.
Actually,
When
that's my favorite part of him. Is the fourth wall
sorry.
breaking.
This is the same reason why I don't like Spider-Man. He talks too freaking much to the villain.
I always
you need to
felt-
start shaving.
I
You're
always
looking
felt that was
ugly.
missing from the movies was
The
his
Spider-Man,
It's
banter.
him talking to the villain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, endless banter. We love endless banter.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't. I'd rather.
Boy,
I'd rather the,
Wonder
the
why
villain.
we like banter.
I don't know. Especially endless.
I'd rather,
Aimless,
I'd rather
pointless
the,
banter.
I'd rather the hero be kind of like Hulk or Wolverine and beat the living crap out of the villain and then walk out.
then enjoy Hulk and Wolverine, but these are
Right.
different. You got to have
different
variety.
characters.
But the whole point of Daredevil is to get them
Deadpool.
whatever. Is to get
Deadpool.
Is to get
We keep
them,
messing up Daredevil and Deadpool now.
Is to get them so mad that they lose focus and he kicks.
And
their
he kicks
ass.
their butt.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what Deadpool
with,
does.
With the what was the other trailer earlier? Like the one where he falls into the car. I've seen that one.
Well, that's in this trailer. It's
Yeah,
in the middle of
okay.
This one.
Originally,
That-
that was a all
was
computer
like a-
generated
like test scene.
to
Yeah.
kind of show how it would
How it would have looked. if
feel, the
Ryan
tone
Reynolds,
and
like-
everything. And he even refers at the end. He says like, "Hi, so and so." He's talking to the head. The chairman, I think, of that
Yeah.
of the studio at the time.
Yep.
That was who that was aimed at because they were going to show that thing directly to him.
Right.
And that was kind of his fourth wall breaking, was he was talking right to the guy who was going to help have the movie get made. And now it looks like a bunch of that is a scene in
Well,
this
I
movie.
think they had to put it in there only because it was just so cool.
It was
You
a
know what I
great
mean?
scene.
It's a quintessential Deadpool scene. What did you guys think of the Deadpool trailer? What do you think, Gary? Because I know you're not a huge Deadpool fan, but
No, it's not that I'm not a Deadpool fan. It's a Ryan Reynolds fan.
you're not a Ryan Reynolds fan for sure. But did
I
that at
bet
least
you
change
didn't
your
like-
mind a little bit about Ryan Reynolds playing Deadpool?
Not really.
No.
I bet you're not that fan of that Green Lantern that he was starring in.
Oh, he hated that version.
See, here's
Don't
the
even get
thing.
him going on that.
Right
Okay,
now,
I
there
opened the
are
door. I'm
Don't
sorry.
even get him going on that.
there
I opened
are
Pandora's box.
thousands of the guys I've seen at cons who dress as Deadpool who are doing flips waiting for this movie because
Yeah,
they
'cause-
want all new
right.
stuff to do. And
Right.
the trailer felt like the Deadpool I know,
Right.
but what worried me was that the humor seemed to fall flat. Like some of the joke timings, he'd do his line. I'd be like, okay, I get that's the joke, but it didn't make me go, it didn't make me laugh, and it didn't make me go, oh, that's awesome.
Right.
There was only like one or two moments, like where the person says their name is something atomic. I can't remember what the heck it is.
Yeah.
And he goes, that is an awesome name. You know, he gets all excited and stuff. And then there's the moment where he turns right to the camera and goes, cue the music. And, you know, I'm like, okay, he's going to break the fourth wall. I saw bits and pieces, but for some reason, the pacing of that trailer just seemed off to me.
Well, I think the pacing was off because, quite honestly, it wasn't a put together trailer. I think they really did just chop up parts of the movie.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, there hasn't been a lot of principal photography.
And how much did they have to rush these things
I'm
for
sure a lot
Comic-Con?
of it had to be rushed into Comic-Con just to even make Comic-Con, because they didn't start photography until 3 weeks ago.
It's
No,
wrapped.
I have no idea.
It's wrapped,
But you're talking unfinished scenes.
right.
Yeah.
I mean, very, very rough cuts. So
Now, the one thing I do hope they do in this movie is all the B. Arthur references.
yeah.
Arthur?
No, I agree with you there.
Yeah.
The Arthur?
What about Colossus
Yeah,
being in this? Do you think that's a cool idea?
I got to see how he fits in because
Yeah.
right now he just seems like, well, let's get another character in there so people know the connection.
Well, I love Deadpool's interaction. Okay, Tin Can, let's do this. Dink,
Yeah.
dink. You know, I was like, that was actually kind of funny. And I could see Deadpool playing around with Colossus'
And
head.
I have heard rumors that Hugh Jackman may appear in that as Wolverine, which to me would bring the house down. It would be
Yeah.
a great scene.
Yeah.
Well, from what I know from history of Deadpool, he pops up in Wolverine X-Men Origins, and then isn't he killed?
It was, and that's the funny thing. He came up in X-Men Origins Wolverine, and everyone hated it because it wasn't Deadpool. It was
Right.
Deadpool in name only and a little bit in the way he jokes and
Well,
cracks
the
some
fact that
lines.
he couldn't talk.
Well,
Yeah,
was so
well, then at the end, they
stupid.
took his mouth away and they turned him into a super being with laser
Right.
eyes and teleportation and all this
And
stuff.
claw
And what I've
arms.
heard, okay, everybody, spoiler alert, if you don't know rumors about the Deadpool movie, I heard one of the fourth wall breaking moments is he fights that Deadpool in this Deadpool
Oh, really?
and kills him.
That's
That's what I've
awesome.
heard. That's what I've
Yes.
heard.
That would be awesome.
Yes.
Don't know if it's true, but I've heard that.
That would actually be totally worth it. Then.
And I think I saw someplace where
That would redeem it.
Oh, yeah.
Totally.
Oh, yeah.
I think I saw someplace where I don't know if it was a comic strip that they did it or what, but he's talking about the Wolverine origin movie, and that he was in it, and they sold my freaking mouth shut, and they gave me swords that came out of my arms,
Yeah.
and laser.
I think they are going to break the fourth wall and reference that
That would
movie. And
be
I
awesome.
think that's their
That
goal.
totally would be
It would be
awesome.
funny if he was like doing a flashback scene quick, and they show the fact that he beats the living crap out of him, chops his head off, tears the guy apart, and then walks away smiling and laughing, and then wakes up from like a stupid dream or something like that. That would be
I
something
don't even know
funny.
if they'd go that far. I think they'd not even make it a dream sequence.
Yeah, I
They would
think
just tie right
do
in.
it up, man. Like tear it up. So that's everything that happened at San Diego Comic Con.
He's sitting in the theater eating popcorn on the fourth wall there, and he's
Yeah, watching him get killed.
Oh, yeah.
that'd be all right too.
Yeah, that would be cool too.
That would be hilarious. I would willingly see that,
That
if
would
he's
be
just sitting
awesome.
on the side of the wall going, huh, I
Oh,
remember that.
And
I
another,
rock.
another comic-related thing that came out that isn't actually Comic-Con related, it came out early. For those of you who loved Daredevil, Punisher in the second season.
That's right.
John Bernthal.
Yep.
Oh, well,
Perfect.
I haven't even seen the first season.
Perfect
I haven't seen.
casting.
Yes.
Well, we're gonna work on it. So that's what we thought about the trailers
Getting
from
there.
San Diego Comic Con. I will say this: I am so jealous of everybody that goes to San Diego Comic
I'm
Con.
not.
It's one of those Comic Cons
it's
I've never
funny.
gone to, and I want to go to at least.
I've been to it
in my
once.
life.
I've been to it once. I only got to go on the floor for about 3 hours because I spent the rest of the time working in a building next door to it on what I was doing. But I got to see about 3 hours of it. It was a big con. I didn't get to do a single panel, none of that stuff.
Yeah.
But it does have that feel. But I've been seeing a lot of the artists I follow online and on Facebook commenting that something was missing from this show. They can't put their finger on it, but they all say it felt off. It didn't feel quite like Comic-Con. Maybe it came a little too early this year and people weren't ready. Maybe it was the fact that Marvel Studios had no big announcements.
I think that had a big role
You know,
to play. I really
there
do.
was a number of things they felt where it just felt off. And so it's interesting. I wasn't there to say why,
my understanding is the numbers were down this year too.
but people said it felt less crowded.
I think the numbers were down. So if
I wonder if New York
San
Comic Con's
Diego
pulling it
Comic
away.
Con continues to a downward spiral, and New York Comic Con continues on its upward spiral.
Well-
at what point does New York Comic Con become
Well,
Comic Con?
Yeah, New York Comic Con already beat them numbers wise. But
Right.
here's the thing: they need a bigger
They
venue.
can't continue to do it at Javits Center. if they're gonna-
They've either got to
I've been
branch
there
out.
once. It was crowded.
They
I
got to do
remember.
something because that venue is a nightmare.
The one thing I did hear about San Diego Comic Con was the hotels that people were staying at. If you drove to it, you could not park your car at the hotel.
Right. Yeah, you had to go park it in a garage somewhere nearby.
You had to be there literally 3 days before
the con
the
started.
con started
Because everything was full up.
because they sold the parking spots to the people that were going to
to the con. Yeah, they were making more money selling it to So if a lot of people had to pay to park their car in a parking garage,
Even though the hotel may have had parking included, they
yes.
couldn't use it.
a block or two down, plus they're paying full day for however many days they were there. So suddenly that became an issue.
Yeah.
because when you book your hotel, you also book the parking spot.
Yeah, you do.
Right.
I mean, some hotels added as a
Dragon
charge,
Con-
but you're supposed to have the space.
Dragon Con's the same way. I mean, imagine if those Atlanta hotels suddenly say, "No, you can't park here." Oh my gosh, that would be a disaster.
Well,
downtown
when
Atlanta.
I stayed in one of the hotel rooms where I actually drove down to Atlanta,
Yeah.
I had to find off-site
So,
parking.
Yeah.
so to wrap this Comic Con portion up, what do you think won Comic Con?
Who won the day?
Pick one thing.
Kevin Smith.
I think Star Wars won out.
I'm going with Star Wars.
I
hate
have
to
to
say
say,
Not just
yeah.
because this is a Star Wars podcast, but I am going with Star Wars.
I think they won out only because of being able to pop that San Diego Symphony Orchestra part in.
Yeah.
I think J.J. Abrams won that whole audience over.
Yeah.
I'm sticking with Kevin Smith.
You think Kevin Smith won? Yeah, Austin, you think Star Wars won?
I'm neutral. I have no clue what went on because I don't have Facebook.
I
don't
really
have
think
Twitter,
Star
I don't
Wars
have-
walked away with the star. And
I
that's
would have to
ironic.
say- I would have to say from what I'm
Because
hearing,
going into it, you wouldn't have thought that was the case.
Yeah.
You would've
Because they
thought-
were saying purposely, we're not showing a trailer.
You
Like,
would have thought DC was going to roll all over everybody. And I thought
I give them a
DC
second. I give them a
I'll
close
give them a
second.
yeah. But they didn't roll all over everybody. Like
I'd
I
have-
thought.
I mean,
yeah,
Marvel
I
was
kind of have to agree
clearly-
with you guys.
Well, here's the thing. Sony was clearly distant third with their couple Marvel movies.
Yeah.
But Marvel Studios wasn't there,
But
so
to
you
me,
can't
it's-
even count them.
To me, it's proof that Sony isn't keeping up with Marvel Studios. They just
Yeah.
aren't. They're not. They can't.
And look at
right
this.
now.
What did we didn't even talk about it, but we didn't even watch it before our thing. There was new trailers dropped for Fantastic Four. It's like we don't care.
I don't like that.
That's
word.
how bad
I
they're
refuse
doing with those properties.
I refuse to even alert that movie even exists. As far as I'm concerned, it doesn't exist.
What movie?
Fantastic Four, the
No,
new
no.
one.
What movie?
Yeah, exactly.
The
Thank you.
only thing I like about that is the new look for the Thing.
I like the new look
yeah.
for the Thing, but that's
But that's
it.
not enough for me to go see that movie.
It's not enough for me either.
Yeah, it's just not
basically
enough.
what
And what
I-
they did
I'll
to
see
Doctor.
Ant-Man before I see Fantastic Four.
Whoa!
Wait, what was this?
He just said he'll go see Ant-Man before he'll see Doctor.
Oh, my God.
Fantastic Four.
Let's see here. Where did the stacks lie?
See, to me, the big kick in the pants from that movie
Is
is what
Ant-Man.
they did to Doctor Doom. That's the kick in the pants.
What did they do to Doctor Doom?
I don't like the look of Doctor Doom at all in that movie.
no.
Do
What'd
not
they do-
like him at all.
What they do to Doctor Doom?
The kick in the pants is the Storm brother and sister.
I'll give you that one. That's another kick in the pants, but to me, Doctor Doom is a close
Well,
second.
it looks
on
like
that.
from what I'm getting from the origin story, they're basically saying that they're creating metahumans. They're straying from the idea that it was an accidental thing, but it was on purpose this time.
It reminds me too much of Lost in Space.
Yeah.
It has a little of that
Now,
too. We'll see.
I'll ask when we get to the break. But what happened? What they do to Doom?
We'll talk later.
Okay.
Okay, so that's what we
Sorry.
think about those panels and those trailers from San Diego Comic-Con. We'd love to hear what you have to say about all that. Head on over to GalaxyCast.com and fill in that whole top portion that says we'd love to hear from you. And what did you think of the trailers? Did you like them? Did you hate them? Hondo, I'm talking to you, dude. Did you like any of that stuff? Ming Chen, did you like any of it? Or were you like us and you hated half of it? So, we'd love to hear from you. Head on over to our GalaxyCast website and let us know what you think. And we'll be back in a moment.
Marker.
Marker.
Well,
Do we need to take a break at all? Or you wanna
I'm
keep
good.
going?
I got
Good.
Ooh,
gonna
I just
go get
lost
a
all
drink.
sound in my headset.
Did you really?
Yeah,
Shouldn't have.
I hear.
Hello.
I hear. It's coming.
yeah, I might have pulled the cord a bit.
There we go.
Got it.
Who pulled it?
I don't know.
So for those watching in video land, we're going to take a quick break.
Now's the time when everyone goes to the bathroom.
Yes. This is potty break time.
What did they do to Doom? I'm not really going to the bathroom. I'm just going to go grab a drink. What did they do to Doom?
I'll have to show you.
And I in Videoland check my messages.
I'm going to take a look at the Pixie versus... I don't think that was Angel in that movie.
Let's just pull up the trailer again, and we'll jump to that one scene. It's the hallway scene, so it should be pretty easy to find. Checking my mail. Checking my mail.
I have to say, this episode of Star Wars Rebels, if anyone watched it, they probably get hooked back in. Because Vader's beating the crap out of people. That's the only thing I... When you bring Vader in, that's like ultimate character.
Okay, so we were looking at X-Men
Days of
First
Future
Class,
Past.
right?
First Class, yes.
Well, no. First... Oh,
Because Gary said there was an angel in that movie.
I know there was in the Bryan Singer one.
Why is it not coming up?
It is up.
No, that's a TV series. Here it is. Apparently there's a TV series, X-Men First Class.
No, I didn't know about it.
Okay,
So
here
here's
we
the
go.
cast.
Full cast.
Angel Salvador.
Really? Where?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
But click on it and see if it actually is.
It is.
See, so driven out of her home by abusive stepfather, 14-year-old Angel Salvador slept in the woods. The student, before they could make Angel their next unwilling donor, she was rescued by Wolverine to the Xavier Institute. Angel, reluctantly enrolled as a student, was forced to help the class. The Stepford Cuckoo break. This is all comic stuff, actually. They're telling her comic history.
As part of her history.
Yeah.
I thought they referred to her as Pixie in there. There was a
Well,
couple.
there is a Pixie in there.
From X-Men First Class. Is there a Pixie as well?
I'm pretty sure they refer to her as Pixie, too.
Yeah, because Mystique, Jennifer Lawrence, says we're going to name characters, and she names her
Maybe that's just a
Pixie. It's like a pet name. Actually, you're right. I'm wrong.
Exactly. Hey, thank you. $5.
That's on camera now, too, just so you know.
$5.
Hey, I didn't say I was going to pay money. I said I'm not betting
joke.
money.
Did you shake on it?
No.
Okay.
$5.
So go back to the trailer real fast for Apocalypse. I want to see that shot in the hallway.
It's on Facebook.
Because
I'm working on it.
in the X-Men, there was a black girl that had butterfly wings like that, and she was known as Angel. She got married to a
See,
guy,
that I think was the Superman one. It's on my page, is the actual...
and
Yeah.
and she got married to a guy named Beak.
And if you zoom ahead, I think it was somewhere about just past the halfway point.
Yeah, I'm just gonna...
It was just a dream.
God.
And you're lost because you follow blind leaders.
Mutants are being hunted, living in fear.
What is it? Oh, God.
Come on.
A great storm approaches.
That's why I'm here. To fight.
Is this what you want from me? I've never felt power like this before.
And he says, "Oh God."
The ending.
That's the ending. Okay.
I'm here.
So that's an angel back. That's a winged guy
Yeah.
back there.
That's Angel right
And
there.
she looks more female than male.
This is Magneto.
I think so.
Storm's
That's
right there.
Storm.
There must
So
be
who's
somebody
the fourth
behind
one?
Magneto. In the shot, it looks like there's more of the screen.
Something. There's legs there, right behind.
That
you can
might
see
be-
him just underneath the thing.
That was not Magneto that you're pointing at.
Is here?
Yeah, I think it's Caliban.
Oh, okay.
Caliban.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Because he's kind of a purplish, or maybe... guy that blinked around.
Blink.
No.
Oh.
Azazel or whatever.
The red dude.
Yeah.
The red dude from X-Men First
He
Class.
died.
They say he's dead. All right, but
This is
Apocalypse can bring
I was
people
gonna say,
back.
this is Apocalypse. He can resurrect whoever he wants.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm thinking, because Angel's dead, because her wings were in the Hall of Trophies,
yeah,
along
the trophies,
with,
yep.
with Magneto's helmet and Banshee's
Wings.
blast thingamajigger.
Yep.
Or maybe it was the other guy.
Havoc.
Havoc.
Havoc's
Havoc's.
blasters,
It was
yeah.
Havoc's blaster.
They had Banshee's wings though. They were
No, those butterfly wings were.
No,
Angel.
but they had Banshees like
they had
flying
Banshee's
wings.
wings.
I don't think it was, but it's immaterial.
Yep.
Because the reason why I say that Magneto's behind that guy, because
the chair.
Xavier's still going back behind him.
Yeah, that's true. So that would be the fourth one then, Caliban.
That's why
Okay, what's Caliban? I'm sorry.
A guy who can control people's minds.
No. He was the mutant hunter. He could sense who was a mutant and who wasn't.
That's right. Sorry.
Was he? There was.
He was an Inhuman, or not Inhuman, but a Morlock.
Right. The mutants that went underground
Right.
during the New
Oh.
Mutant comics, right? Yeah, New Mutants I think came out of the Morlocks.
Some of them did.
Yeah. Okay. So we're ready to go on. So we're ready to talk about. Should I pull up the Wikipedia page for that?
Yeah. All right, I have one question. What's with Calabas or Carabas? They keep saying it during the show. I swear it's like a way to curse but not curse on a TV show.
Huh?
The word that they keep saying, Carabas, whenever they get like cornered. Zeb says it.
I never heard Zeb say that.
Oh.
I think you're making up words now.
No, I see. And I will watch the episode again. Make sure you see it.
Yep. And I'll tell you again that you're hearing things again. Okay. Spark of Rebellion.
Wait, no, isn't that the one we've?
No, this was the invasion of Lothal.
Yeah, this is Invasion
sorry.
of Lothal.
I told to go to season 2.
Now listen.
That's interesting.
Roll back up.
Back up where?
See, right there, season 2. It was at the very top of the screen.
Yeah, not at all.
Season Lothal's right here.
Yeah, we're there.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
We are. My headset's gone again.
Again? Dang it. Must have a,
Yeah, as soon as you touch over there, I'm connecting.
Must be my cord.
Must be a splitter. It's
Maybe it's in the cord because I stopped jiggling. No, nothing's happening. Now you jiggle.
that one.
Yeah, something you're doing right there has brought it back.
Okay. Well, probably got a short in one of my Ys.
Okay. Well, if I go out, I'll just give you a signal.
Yeah.
YMCA.
I'll have to get another Y connector. All right, here we go. Welcome to the wonderful world of podcasting where cord's short out. Okay, here we go.
We just roll punches.
And we're back, and we're ready to talk about, yes, that's right, Star Wars Rebels. Can't believe I'm saying that in the middle of the summer.
Ta-da!
We decided we would watch and talk about the Siege of Lothal that came out on June 20th. This was supposed to be a preview for Season 2, which starts in the fall. I'm not even sure what date yet, do we? I'm not even sure.
On October 2nd.
That's when it was renewed. We just know that we have more episodes coming this fall. We just don't know when.
Yeah.
So this was actually a 2-part episode. It didn't feel like 2 parts. Did it feel like 2 parts? to you
No,
guys?
it flowed really well.
Yeah, it just felt like it all flowed into one. There wasn't even an intro for the second part, was there? Did I miss that?
No. It was
So
just an hour episode. Normally, they're both half hours.
Which I like that when they do that. You don't need to split it up. Just give me all at once, and I can handle it that way. That's cool. So, very interesting start to the episode right away. We start off with this space battle going on, and we're not really sure why the space battle is going on, other than we know all of a sudden the crew for the Ghost is working with Phoenix Squadron, right?
The rebellion, basically. And I believe they say they're looking for shield generators.
Well, they're just working with them in general, and they're trying to get cargo off of these.
Which was shield
Was
generators?
it shield generators? Off
They were
these
thinking that
Imperial
the
ships?
cargo holds were holding shield generators, military grade. Turns out they're not.
And I thought it was very interesting that this whole fight's going on, and
I was still hoping that the cargo would have been Jar Jar and Carbonite.
They open it. Oh, we didn't ask for this.
I thought their way of getting the cargo was interesting, though. Blowing it off the other ship, letting it float through space, coming up underneath it, well, over top of it, really, and then,
And then just
magnetizing
magnetizing it.
yourself and letting it. I wonder how many times that happened, and why didn't Han Solo ever think of that?
Because they
Imagine
learned,
he could have had his spices off before anybody knew it.
because they learned to put them inside the ships.
This is true, because then they can't get knocked off again.
That's right.
They went, hey, this happened 5 times.
So
let's fix that.
While the battle's going on, we have, is it 2 or 3 Star Destroyers come zipping into
I think
this,
3 pull up.
this happy battle. And of course, this creates problems, and the Rebel ships want to get out of there because they can't,
This
keep up with the Imperial Star Destroyers.
She's going down, Captain.
This episode made me wonder an awful lot about Filoni.
Why do you say that?
There's a lot of 3 represented in this movie or this episode.
Maybe he's listening to you finally.
That's what I'm wondering.
Yeah.
It'd be funny if they're just like, I'm done. If he keeps making 3 references, it's pretty coincidental, and I think that's not a happy coincidence.
No, I think it's just proof that Gary is Dave Filoni. I mean, that's all it really boils down to here. I still
Let's
haven't
make
gotten a
3
shot with the
Star
2 of them
Destroyers.
side by side in the same room. They've been in the same room, but I haven't had a picture of them in the same room. Gonna have to start proving that.
And
soon.
neither one of us is looking at you straight in the face either.
I know. I'm gonna have to find Filoni at Dragon Con and put the 2 of you side by side and take a picture and demand that the 2 of you look at the camera. I'll have to see, Eric. Maybe he is Filoni. And you just never knew it all this time. So, interesting space battle. They decide to hyper jump out of there and get away, which was a smart plan, I think, from the very beginning. Get away. And we start going into the backdrop of the story, which is basically the fight kind of within the crew of the Ghost about whether they are with the rebellion or whether they're not with the rebellion.
Yes.
Now, before we go very further, what was the fighter for the rebellions in this episode?
They look like A-Wings to me,
Right.
which is too soon, isn't it, for
Yes.
A-Wings?
Yes.
That bothered me a little bit because that's.
And-
I asked Eric, and Eric's like, I don't know what they were. I'm like, I thought they were A-Wings. 'cause
I
they
didn't
looked
notice.
Like
I wasn't really.
The A-Wings
A-Wings
were
weren't supposed to be developed till after Return of the Jedi.
Well,
Or,
during Return of the
of the
Jedi,
Jedi.
yeah.
Like that
Right.
was supposed to be. They were designed for the second
Right.
Death Star to get into the because that Death Star had different design to it. So they built the A-Wings to get inside that Death Star. So it wasn't supposed to be been designed at this
Right.
point.
What
I'm
if
glad
it-
I'm not
what-
the only one that caught that.
What if it was
"Those are
like
A-Wings."
the design they used, but it's not the A-Wing, it's like a
It-
lower model, let's say?
It's still the A-Wing.
Yeah.
Okay. I also have a big beef. They were using the X-Wing pilots' helmets. When they did the X-Wing pilots, they had that particular helmet during the original series.
Original series.
Episode 4, the helmet that the Y-Wing characters were wearing, that
were
was
not-
the same helmet.
No, they were wearing A-Wing helmets.
Yes.
That's why I thought they were A-Wings.
Right.
Because we saw the guy in the cockpit. You didn't see the ship right away, but you saw the guy in the cockpit, and he had the A-Wing helmet on. That was actually the red flag for me. I was like,
Right.
are those A-Wings? And then they zoomed out, and they were A-Wings. And I was like, oh, that's not supposed to happen.
So you need to get your continuity together.
Yeah. So,
Sorry.
so we have this kind of question: is the Ghost crew now part of the rebellion, or aren't they? And I thought it was interesting they're kind of split down the middle about whether they want to join this rebellion or not. I thought it was interesting that the Jedi Knight, of all people, wants nothing to do with the rebellion.
Because he's seen the horrors of war.
I was going to
Yeah,
say,
Kanan says, I have seen the horrors of the Clone Wars. I don't want to see another one. I've seen them.
it didn't surprise me at all.
Really? Because I kind of saw it as like they might have been his only hope to hide himself or even protect himself at this point.
Well, it's like this. Why join up with a group of rebels, and you're the only Jedi there?
Yeah, I guess you're drawing attention
Right,
to
you're
yourself,
drawing-
right?
yeah.
Yeah. I guess I wasn't thinking of it
and
like that.
and a lot of the Jedi's did not want to be involved in the Clone Wars either.
Well, right. They were drawn
they got
into
suckered
it.
into it.
Right. They were
That's,
drawn
he
into
feels
it.
like it's happening again.
Yep.
Right. Well, he does make reference to the fact that he feels like this is the Clone Wars all over again.
Right.
Things change. Things are moving down the same path, which is kind of true to a larger extent. So, as if all of this isn't complex enough, we then kind of go back to Lothal. I'm assuming that's kind of
Yeah,
where we
I think
ended
they're
up.
just a headquarters
And
there.
We meet with Minister Maketh Tua, which is the person running Lothal, the lady. And we meet with, who's the guy that...
Callus.
Callus, thank you. And Darth Vader suddenly
shows up.
And
basically, Vader puts all the blame on her, basically saying,
It's your fault.
Your fault, but you're going to have to go answer to Tarkin.
Right.
Which she doesn't want to hear.
Which I find interesting, because here yet again, we've shown a weird balance of power, like was in Episode 4, where Vader's
not primary,
but kowtowing to Tarkin, who's not a Sith, which is kind of a weird... but he's the Grand Moff, right? At this point,
yeah.
Tarkin would have been, I would imagine.
I think Tarkin might know who Vader actually is.
Oh, so he could out him?
Yes.
See, now I never thought that as leverage, but that's
Because
true.
in the Clone Wars series, he and Anakin went face to face during that Citadel episode. They were
And not only that, but there was a lot of respect between the two of them.
Yeah.
Because
Well, yeah, I mean, think of the first Star Wars, which Vader release her as you wish.
As you wish,
I mean,
yeah.
he answers
But
to
if
Tarkin.
if Tarkin could out him as Anakin Skywalker to everybody else, that's leverage he's got on him.
But go
I
back.
never thought that's a valid point, Gary. I never thought.
But there's a comic strip I've seen where Vader kills him.
Go back to the
Sorry.
to the Citadel episode.
yeah.
Tarkin's telling Anakin that Jedis have no purpose to be in the military,
Right.
and Anakin is kind of agreeing with him.
Right.
So
Which would separate the Sith from the military.
well, not just the Sith, but just the Jedi and everything from the military, and then there's that mutual respect right between the
there.
two of them. Right
I
there.
also wondered always just how much of it was Vader just put up with it, because Vader knew he was the far more powerful of the two.
Yeah, he could have
and
squashed him
answered,
in a second.
and answered directly to the Emperor. So
Yeah.
how much was it Vader's just like, as you wish, if that's what you want, it's fine. But
I don't know, because Tarkin's the leader of the military and everything.
right. So maybe
Right.
there's a respect there.
40,000 stormtroopers, even if they can't hit them at all, right? One guy's gonna get lucky.
One guy's gonna hit that broadside.
Yeah,
line.
exactly.
I think I can get him. Oh man, I missed.
So we go on with Maketh Tua basically being blamed for everything, and she
And
decides
she
her
contacts
best
the rebels.
option is to contact the rebels and defect. She's
Yes.
going to leave, and she's going to give them vital information, stuff that only the Emperor knows.
And apparently there's a special reason why the Emperor is interested in Lothal that they do not know. It's not just the planet's resources.
Right, there's something else going on there, and that
Apparently, rebels live there. There are
I don't think it's that.
sacrifices.
There's something,
something.
else. There's some mysterious
And she
something.
she doesn't tell them because that's her leverage to make sure they come rescue her. Is I'll
Right.
tell you once you rescue me. So they don't really find out.
And of course, for all we know,
it's that Jedi Academy that's there.
It's a
or
hidden
for
Jedi
all,
Academy.
for all we know, it's nothing. You know what I mean?
It could have been a lie.
She
was
could have made it up.
Well, no, either that or she was given false information
Right.
because of what happens.
Right, or she could have made it up to try to, as leverage to try to get them
Yeah.
to come back
Well,
and save her.
remember that one where Ezra got his
No, I know his
crystal
staple
on?
gun.
There
I
you
know
go.
what you're saying. I know it
There
could
you
be.
go.
It could be that. Who knows? And maybe that was an old Sith temple they turned into a Jedi temple. Who knows? you
Well,
know?
that's what Palpatine wants to find out what it actually is.
Right. So this is what she uses as leverage, and she begs the rebels to come back and help her. And ironically,
They
the
agree.
Ghost crew decides to go back and to go help her.
They deem it worth it. And Ezra, of course, being the noble one, says, that's what we're here to do. We're here to help people
We're here
who
to
need
help
help.
people. Right. Which I think he's kind of spurred on by the discussion that was had earlier about how they feel that the Clone Wars are reoccurring, and how not Ezra but the other guy Kanan wants to go back to what they used to do, which is
Yeah.
helping the everyday person, not necessarily getting involved with a military thing.
Because Ezra did overhear that conversation. He was right there as the two of them
Right,
were
and I
talking.
think he was kind of inspired by Kanan and
Yeah.
what he said, and maybe rightfully so, because he kind of sees him as a master, whether he wants to see him that way or not. So we go back to Lothal.
They
And
go on a rescue mission.
I have to admit, we were going back to Lothal, and I'm going, oh, not again. It's like I feel like we never get away from this planet, and it's just, they land, everything looks the same. It's like nothing changed.
All the streets have those
All the
buildings with
streets-
the rounded corners,
Right, yep.
which makes me think there's tons of people walking down those streets who step in the wrong place and like slip and hit the wall. And
Right. It is kind of weird. It's not,
it
square.
makes
It's
it
very
easy for the
rounded.
street cleaners.
I'm sure it does.
And when they fall, they're actually wearing bubble wrap.
So, as they get down there, Kanan decides to take out a stormtrooper and take his costume, which
Yeah.
Yeah, he went and made friends.
that was a nice throwback to episode 4. I'm
Yep.
sorry, it was
They
a
called
good
it like that. They
throwback
called
to
him a
the-
buckethead.
Right, yeah, and it was the throwback to Han and Luke.
And they're all chuckling and making jokes. And
Ezra's jealous.
Yeah,
Ezra's
Ezra's
like, "Oh, I
jealous.
wanted to try it. I would have been perfect for it."
So as Maketh is starting to show up, we finally see that not only is it her,
There's
Callus
Callus is
with her.
escorting.
Callus is escorting her because
Which is our first clue.
that something's up.
They know
yeah.
something's up.
Well, no, actually, when she leaves the one area, the hallway, and starts walking away, Callus signals a droid to follow.
Yeah, there is that too. I mean, they're
There's
clearly
a
know
weird,
she's
there's a
doing
weird
something.
red flag there,
It was all set up. There was no
Yeah.
fans or buts about it.
Yeah.
And Callus knew it.
especially with the next scene
And
later on. But
it
I'm
was
not
all
gonna say
Vader's
that.
plan.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, everything was designed by Vader from very beginning to end of this episode. So they go to rescue Makethtua, and in the process, they get into a firefight. They somehow block off half the troopers with the doors.
Yeah.
Well, it's because
Kanan.
Kanan's trooper there closed the doors.
Yep.
Close the door and then blast it shut. So, oh no, the control panel's busted.
Surprise.
Surprise!
I was actually waiting for an open the blast doors, something like that. But okay. So Kanan goes to grab. Actually, it wasn't even Kanan. It was the rebels themselves try to take her to the ship.
And they tell her, run to the
Run
ship.
to the ship, and as she gets into the ship, boom,
The whole ship blows up.
ship blows up.
And every one of them goes, don't.
And I love the fact that they're like, "What do we do now?" They're
Yeah.
like, "Get out of here!" And I'm like, "Get out!"
So they all rush out to escape in their shuttle, which promptly gets shot down by a walker.
Which, for once,
They
they
can
can
hit
actually
something.
hit something.
But before that though, Callus says that you all did this.
Oh, yeah, blames them.
Right.
made
Blames
her
them,
martyr.
and then all of a sudden there's a huge amount of stormtroopers running, and they're just ducking and dodging and running.
So they attempt to escape. Their shuttle gets shot down.
And
Now they're in hiding.
Vader's watching the whole thing.
Yeah.
He's just standing for a moment going, ooh, look, pretty fireworks.
Doing his little thing on the catwalk.
He was puppet mastering.
Yeah,
the
doing his
whole
little
thing.
thing on the catwalk.
Yep. Which I love the fact that he was kind of puppet mastering from the side, just
Yeah.
watching
Yeah,
all the
he's-
pieces fall into
He's
place.
too sexy for himself too.
So they go and they hide out in Ezra's old home.
Right. Which logical sense, that
It's one of their safe houses.
It's one of their safe houses, a place they know to go. But
And very quickly, stormtroopers show up. They're not there very long.
I'm kind of glad that they can't hang out there
Yeah.
anymore. So suddenly, they're finally getting smart, the Empire, as to where these guys might be hanging out. And so they Chopper's little scene there was a little weird.
He
Yeah.
zaps the trooper, he closes the
Closes
door,
the door,
and then
he seals it back up, and the stormtroopers don't even try to shoot the droid, really. I mean,
Yeah.
that could have been easily remedied by killing Chopper. But okay, I mean, we can't kill him. He's the main character.
and also because he's so cute.
Now,
Not really.
what,
I'd want to kick that Rush bucket.
why didn't they go to the Ezra's other hideout that he had, that big tower?
I don't know.
Oh, yeah, they never made it. Well, they never made it out of the city. They could.
They never went back to that though.
It's true.
They
Yeah.
probably couldn't make it all the way out there because
Well, they were-
blockades
yeah,
and
they
city
were-
stuff.
I
and
mean,
all that.
and now the other episodes before that.
Well, remember, there's only one road out of Lothal. It's straight. They probably had that blocked.
Right. Yeah.
that's true.
They might have, yes.
left, right, left.
So they get discovered. And not only do they get discovered, but now they're on the run.
I like that they drop in some thermal detonators and they
And just
basically
blow
blow
the place
the
to
thing up.
smithereens.
And there's a nice moment where Ezra looks down at his house on fire and basically thinks, like, he says out loud, "You can't go back home."
No going back home now.
And that's, I think, a sign that they're finally going to be leaving Lothal in the series. They're leaving this whole part of the story behind and moving on.
They
I
may
thought it
come
was
back to it
interesting
towards
too
the
that
end,
almost everybody had a helmet at this point. Did you notice that? They're crawling across that little walkway between
only-
the two buildings. Ezra has his helmet under his arm. Kanan has the stormtrooper helmet under his arm. The Mandalorian has the helmet under her arm, and then
Hera and Zeb are the only ones.
Are the only ones without a helmet. I'm like,
Maybe we need to get a helmet for Zeb and a helmet for Hera.
Is
That'd
that
be
foreshadowing? We need to get helmets for the other two.
Yes.
One of them needs a TIE Fighter helmet. One needs a Vader helmet. You
Yeah.
know?
awesome. No. They need the generator dudes, the cone head
Okay.
helmet. Sorry.
So we move on, and
They need to get some rubies.
yes, they do. And that's when we discover that the setup all along was
Right.
to blame them.
Because they start to see the recordings of that they're being accused of killing the
Minister Makethtua.
yeah, thank you.
They're being accused of killing her, which is going to turn the people of Lothal against them. Which I think is a critical point here because that's where you're getting the everyday person to turn against.
Right. Which the thing is, I don't know how successful that would be. Excuse me. I don't know how successful that would be because I think anyone who hears a broadcast like that has an instant distrust of the Empire, just like people today would say, as soon as the government says something, there's tons who go, nope, it's a lie. It's a lie.
And,
So,
It's conspiracy, man.
well, not only that, but I think the population is already sick and tired of the Empire being there anyway.
Yeah.
So-
Probably, yeah.
So one dignitary from the Empire gets
He killed. Yeah,
Oh, well.
who cares? Yeah. So they've got to try to escape now. So they decide that they're going to go steal a
shuttle. They go right to the
Imperial
center
shuttle.
of the town because all of the
Outskirts
troops are
have- right.
are out looking for them. So they figure go to the center because it's going to be one of the least
There'll be
populated places.
Fewer troops there.
Hide in plain sight.
So on their way there, they basically run into.
They steal some shield
They find
generators.
generators,
they're
yeah.
going to the ship and they find the ship and go, hey, look, shield generators. This is what we were
As
looking
they're
for.
loading them up, in walks the biggest
Vader.
bad guy
And of
ever,
course,
Darth
both
Vader.
Kanan and Ezra both stop, and they both go, "You feel that cold?" And I saw.
It was interesting that they kept referring to that. They felt cold as they were flying in to the planet. They felt it when they're sensing him there. It's like he gives off such power and evil.
But what strikes me real interesting is Ezra feels it first.
Right, not Kanan.
Oh yeah, that's true. He did notice it first.
Yeah. Because Ezra had said on our way into the planet, "Do you feel cold?" And Kanan goes, "No." He didn't sense it.
Yeah, not right away.
But Ezra did very strongly too, and he said, "I'm very cold."
Yep.
And then when they were walking to the ship, he was the one that stopped still and goes, "There it is again."
Yeah.
It was like, I agree with you, Gary, but I still think it's foreshadowing to everything we have talked about.
Yep.
Absolutely.
I'm
If we're in a movie theater and they're like, who's Kylo Ren, and he takes his helmet off and it's Ezra, I'm gonna be like, "Yep."
Well, we've
Like,
seen
everybody
him.
else gonna be like, "Whoa!" And
We've
we're gonna be
seen
like,
him without his helmet.
Yep.
Told you so.
Yeah, like that's what we should be like. We're in a theater. Told ya. Like,
For those of you who missed the old episode, we have a running theory that Kylo Ren is going to be proven to be the adult Ezra who has gone dark.
and who's the actor we said looked just like?
Adam Driver.
Adam
Driver.
has the
Has
similar
the
features,
same
not his
features.
dark skin color, but other
Right.
than that.
But that could be.
But
fixed.
then, I mean, think about it. We've just seen Ezra Ezra for the first time confront Darth Vader, and we've heard a lot about how that Kylo Ren has a Vader obsession kind of going on in the future
Yeah.
movie. So we'll see what happens.
yeah.
It's just a theory. If it does happen, though, remember we thought it up
All I'm
first.
gonna do is when we come back after The Force Awakens, and that's the case, I'm gonna buy a mic just to drop it on the podcast. Seriously, like we're done.
you should just buy rubber mics. We all just drop them at once.
You're going to do your Walter White
Yes,
impersonation, right?
yes, do my Walter White impersonation. So Vader, I mean, just
I felt like when he did that, it was like that Force Awakening. Do you feel it?
yeah.
Something has awakened, or something like that. I don't know.
That whole scene was just like awesome.
It was good. I mean, Vader basically throws the two of them around.
Well, the reveal of Vader with the lightsaber and everything beckons Darth Maul. And
A little bit. Yeah, it's got the giant doors.
All we needed it.
Well, not only
happen
that,
is
but
the
what I
hood
thought was
fuck
funny
up.
is that the two Jedi come forward, the Sith comes forward, and everybody else just kind of
Goes around.
it.
Don't worry about them.
We're not going to go into that.
Yeah,
we're
we're
not
not
going
gonna
to
cross
fight
into-
outside of it.
Qui-Gon goes, we got this.
We got this. Yeah.
Padme, okay.
Okay. Yeah. It was like you almost could sense that same kind of,
That was okay.
Yeah.
You know what
That
actually
way.
would have been really like. It would have been cool if they had done the Darth Maul. Da, 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 da.
They need to recut that whole scene for Phantom Menace and have Liam Nielsen says that he's got a particular set of skills and everything.
So the whole battle between Kanan and
It's one-sided.
It's so awesome to watch Darth Vader just toss them about.
Well, and we all commented one of the best moments was when Kanan goes in with his lightsaber and Vader just catches him by the hand and lifts him up off the ground.
yeah, yeah. Ezra, he just keeps tossing Ezra like his little can.
Yeah, yeah.
And the whole time, just one hand.
One-handed.
Yeah,
Saber
most of the
work on
time he
him.
was
Yeah,
one-handed.
Kanan's going at him both hands, like over the head, the whole thing, and Vader's just, one-handed.
Yeah.
Right.
Like,
And then
It's kind of like a Dooku move. It's like a Dooku move.
nah, I was better than Dooku.
Yeah.
I know.
and then
It goes back to Darth Maul whole scene with against
Qui-Gon.
Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
Is he focused on the master and he just kept tossing the
Except
apprentice
toss the
aside.
Padawan aside. Yeah.
Which is basically what we're doing at Buffalo Bisons.
Yeah, that's what I do.
You're just gonna keep tossing a terror away, and then
Yep.
I get injured, and you just start
Oh,
doing
you
it
just
one-handed.
spoiled everything for me.
yeah.
wait till they
Spoiler.
Sorry.
Wow, that was loud.
Yeah. So
Sorry, folks.
basically the fight ends with some explosives being thrown onto some
Walkers.
walkers blowing out their legs, and the flaming walker falls on Vader because at the last moment he looks up, both of them give him a force push back into the fall, and it lands on him. But of
before it
course,
does, his hand comes up.
yeah, one-handed lifts it, the whole flaming walker into the air,
And he's standing up underneath.
It was a
It's
great
awesome.
shot. It was a great
The
shot.
whole thing.
I don't think it knocked him down, did it? He just stood
No,
there.
he
caught
just,
it.
he just, he,
No,
he just held it.
he got knocked down by the force push,
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
and he just took his hand up.
he caught
Oh,
it.
okay.
But when it,
So he was laying down and
Yes.
holding it up. Okay. All right.
He actually caught-
I didn't catch that
and he was
first time.
standing up
If you-
with his
Yeah.
hand.
If you pay
on.
attention, he caught two because
Yeah.
two of them fell on him.
Right.
Yeah.
And he's
love
just standing there nonchalantly holding him.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And the best line was, "What is that? If they don't kill him, what will? Not us."
Not us, we're out of here.
Run.
So they take off.
Run too?
Yeah,
And they-
we just needed Obi-Wan's voice coming in. Run.
And then I was just
Run.
waiting for it that they hopped on the shuttle. I was waiting for him to just reach up and like pull the shuttle back,
right?
which
Like-
would have been awesome. But he
Yeah,
let him.
just,
But
like,
then,
bring it
and I'm
down.
thinking, why didn't he do that? And of course, it plays out. There's a reason he didn't do stuff
Right,
like that
'cause
because he
there's-
probably could have.
He could have. I'm sure he could have.
Let the show go, but just pull one person out of it.
But remember, he had a bigger plan.
Why not?
You know what I was expecting to happen?
Yeah.
Because I'm still waiting for our Ezra thing to happen. I was expecting him to pull Ezra out, put him down next to him, and have the shuttle take off
Yeah.
and be like, there it is! There it is, ladies and gentlemen, we are done. like,
Yeah.
yeah, another mic drop.
I like the fact when he did lift it up, it looked like a comic book scene. I was just waiting for the crash symbol to be behind him, and then it rip into a ball of flames. No.
So
okay.
they finally...
This episode showed Vader how he should have been in
yes.
the Sith.
Yeah.
Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah, it was.
Yes.
He was a powerful character.
He was supposed
it was
to be
awesome.
so powerful, and it just... The end of Revenge of the Sith made him so weak. I mean, just it weakened the character.
Yep. The more body parts you are, the less you are with the Force. So.
Right. So we find out that they decided not to take this particular shuttle off planet.
Right.
We're not even sure why yet.
Well, no, remember they're about to fly out, and they said there's going to be blockades. They need
Right.
to find another way to get out of here, and that's when she says, "We know a guy who might be able to help us get out of
No,
here,
not
smuggle
him.
us out of here."
Not him.
Yeah,
and they're
not
like,
him.
"No."
And
him.
all the rest of the crew goes, not him.
And it was great because they brought in Lando for a
You
bit.
knew
for
that
a
was
minor
going to be
scene.
Lando.
But
Just
it was
because we
nice.
saw him earlier in the season, it was kind of
It-
like, you know...
It would have been awesome to see Lando come in with the Falcon and take him off that way.
That would have been nice, but
That
I
would-
think
yeah.
if we're going to see the Falcon anywhere in Rebels, they're saving it for something
yeah.
big. They're saving it for either mid-season or finale.
But
It
it would have been awesome to see Lando come in with the Falcon, though.
Yeah, Lando with the Falcon. Not
Yeah.
Han and Chewie,
Right.
but Lando. I
Yeah,
agree with
because
you.
Before he
owning it.
lost it in a game, probably
Exactly.
against them.
So
So Lando helps them
Escape.
escape, but the way they escape is awesome.
well, and even before they escape, there's the sequence where they have burned down Tarkin Town.
Oh, that's right, yes.
So basically, they get to see a bit of the slash and burn tactics of Vader, which you brought up an excellent point.
It goes back to everybody's saying that Boba Fett killed Aunt Beru and Uncle Owen. I don't think so. I think it was Vader ordered them dead because they had the droids and stuff that he was looking for.
Even more callous as he knew him. And
Right.
He knew who they were, and he wanted to bury
Yeah.
the fact that they were alive. And I
Right.
think that's more callous. You know?
And then it goes also back to when Anakin slaughtered the Tuscans and everything. 'Cause
Yeah.
he burned that village too.
Yep.
So it's you brought up a valid point that Vader's thing, Anakin's thing, is burning down everything wherever he goes.
Yeah.
So that's kind of an interesting homage that maybe we've been missing as Star Wars fans all these years.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's a very cool idea.
That maybe Aunt Beru and Uncle Owen were killed by Vader after all these years.
Yeah.
And people have been wrong all this time.
It'd be very cool.
It wouldn't
was
make
Vader.
sense if Boba killed him. It wouldn't make sense at all.
I
Well,
would have if Vader told him to.
Well,
Well.
the reason why everybody thinks Boba Fett did it is the no disintegration
right.
scene
No
in
disintegrations.
Empire.
Yeah.
In other words, he disintegrated Aunt Beru and Uncle Owen when Vader told him not to.
Some people people have added on their own connection to that story and
Right,
stuff.
that they think
Okay,
that's a
so you're
reference to
talking
Aunt
on,
Beru and Uncle Owen.
You're talking
But
on
now it would work the other way
Cloud
around.
City.
It would work with Vader saying it as in, "Don't do what I do.
Right,
I
don't-
want this
yeah,
person."
right.
So it could work that way
that
too.
would be perfect.
Yeah, that's awesome, Gary. Actually, if that's where they went with it. So that's right. Tarkin Town gone.
Yeah.
totally burned to the ground.
And Ezra feels more and more of the weight of this is because of them. That things like
Right,
this are
they're
happening
causing
because
this.
they're on the planet and they're being looked for, and he feels this immense guilt.
Right, and then to go back to the deal with Lando, they had to give up 3 power cells.
Yeah.
Generators.
Three again.
of them.
Yep.
3.
So they decide to work with Lando to get off planet, and their plan is awesome.
Yeah, it's a nice one. It works out pretty well.
They put these little transponders out that have the same signal as the shuttle they're using. So suddenly the Imperial fleet's like, hey, we got a transponder in Sector 1. No, there's one in Sector 9.
So
One in
it's
Sector
basically
12.
cloning the signal of the ship,
Right.
so they don't quite know where the ship is.
Why did they just go to their own transponder and turn it off?
Well, I think
I
it's
don't
a signal
think
you
can do
can't.
that. I don't think you can do that
Why not?
because
Well, I think that's why they had the TIE fighters blow up the fake ones.
yeah.
So they could
No,
know
he's
what it
saying
was.
why didn't the crew disable the signal so they couldn't be found?
That was in the shuttle.
Oh, the shuttle
signal.
itself?
Yeah.
There's probably like a
mean,
backup switch that won't let you do that.
All
Something
right.
like emergency failures.
The little I know about airplanes, if
You can't
it's
turn
any-
off a transponder.
You can't turn off a transponder. You're not supposed to be able to.
They did when they attacked the Trade Center.
Not the Trade Center, but the Flight M whatever that happened in Indonesia, I think, was one they were having trouble tracking.
No, I think he's talking
maybe-
about 9/11, the World Trade Tower.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was stuck.
So, but yeah, so back to the show. They do the signal. Because I'm getting away from conspiracy theory.
And they decide to have TIE fighters blow up the fake signals.
Yes.
And that's when they discover them. But by the time they discover them,
One signal is going into orbit,
it's too late.
Yeah.
And they're out of there.
and they fly off.
So they
But,
meet up with
again-
the Rebel fleet.
Vader's there going, prepare my ship.
Yeah. Good job. Way to go.
and the
So
general's
again,
like,
the puppet master just kind of playing the
Because
game.
everyone's sitting there going, they think he's going to be upset. And all he
Right.
says is, prepare my ship.
Yep.
and the general on board the Star Cruiser goes, I don't understand.
Okay, well, first of all, when he said prepare my ship, what were you thinking of?
I was thinking
I
of
mean, it's
a new
prepare
episode,
my
New
shuttle.
Hope. Prepare my shuttle, yeah.
Yeah.
Like him going out in
And get on a Star
episode
Destroyer.
4 to go.
To get
Yeah.
on the Star Destroyer and then go.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I almost thought that's what was going to happen. Like all of a sudden, his Star Destroyer was going to show up at.
I thought it was
Where they were.
I thought it was awesome to see him.
I know.
Just a TIE fighter.
So we're getting ahead of ourselves, but basically they show up back at the Rebel fleet, and the moment they step off the shuttle, Chopper detects a signal going off, and basically they realize they were tracked there. And as they are almost immediately, they realize a single incoming ship is approaching them,
Right.
and it's Vader. In
And I thought it was funny because they run onto the bridge. They're like, "We've been tracked. We've been tracked." And the bridge just kind of looks at them and they're like, "And it's what?" You know, like,
Yeah.
and I'm like, "Hello."
It's just a fighter.
right? Like it's a single fighter. What do we have to worry
Launch
about?
Phoenix Squadron, and they get taken out.
oh yeah, they couldn't hit nothing.
Awesome.
They got
Watching
stolen.
Vader just like
That's where Vader was just going,
just
"Your shots are
obliterate.
Vader did your favorite move of the entire thing.
That was
he
awesome.
spun
I'm
a TIE
sorry.
fighter and flew it backwards.
Flew it backwards and shot at the
Yeah.
same. I'm
That-
sorry.
that was a
And that was
great
hands
moment.
down
And took one out.
the best dogfight scene I've ever seen in my life. I'm like, that was just killer
It
awesome.
might have been my favorite moment of the entire episode.
Almost as good as Top Gun when he hits
He
the
was
brakes.
Maverick. He was Maverick.
That's what I'm saying. Like almost, I was about to say, like Top Gun when he hits the brakes, lets Viper go flying by him and then hits him. You know what I mean? Like that was always my favorite Top Gun movie, even though he goes below the deck. Awesome move.
Mm-hmm.
Let the guy whip by him and totally just that's outflying somebody. And what Vader did, that was totally outflying.
Yeah, it
somebody.
was nice.
That
It
was
was really
awesome.
nice.
I was just like, whoa.
And what I tell you, out of all the pilots there is, he's the only one that could do it.
Right.
Because he's mostly machine than he is man.
And it's interesting as he's strafing the ship and as the ghost is getting ready to leave and Ahsoka is watching all this, I think it's starting to dawn on her that maybe she recognizes the
Well, she felt
flying.
she felt the coldness
She-
and stuff.
Right, she felt the presence a little bit, but
Right after Ezra felt the coldness.
Yeah.
right.
He keeps feeling
Yeah.
it first.
I'm trying to remember. I think she recognized his flight pattern because she flew with
Well,
him.
that's what
She
I was-
knew everything
That's what
about
I'm
his
saying.
flight
Like I
pattern.
think she's starting to see like this isn't the normal pilot. There's something.
She might be recognizing the style of flying, but I don't think she knew who he.
She didn't know who he was yet because I think it really took her by surprise when there was that scene when both her and Kanan were reaching out and she finally makes the contact and the connection. She appeared to be intensely shocked, so it wasn't a slow dawning.
Yeah.
It really did hit her.
No, yeah. Well, I think it hit her swiftly because not only did she contact him, I think he contacted her.
Oh yeah,
back
because you see him tilt his head and he
yeah, like
clearly.
like he definitely had the connection there.
Well, I don't think he connected with her. He might have, but I think it's most of the fact that she felt all his pain
That
Yeah.
yeah.
and
Oh,
anger,
see, I-
and
the
the anger that
yeah.
is in him,
Oh yeah.
The pain and anger. I didn't put that together. Yeah.
yeah.
and that's why she passed out because she couldn't handle all that.
Yeah.
I have a question. Can a Force user deflect bullets in the TIE pilot seat? Can he be sitting in the TIE pilot capsule and shoot, and the shots that are coming at him, he can deflect?
It'd be interesting to see. I think he's too focused on the flight to
I would
concentrate
think so,
on
yeah.
that, but it would be neat to see a scene
I didn't know
where
if he
someone
was like predicting the shot.
Yeah, where he
does
holds
that.
his hand out
and the
and
shots
deflects.
come and they just split and miss
Right.
him. It'd be awesome.
Yeah, then you got Super Jedi.
Yeah,
Right, I
it gets to
agree
be a
with you.
bit too strong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. I was just wondering if that was possible.
mean-
But it is Vader.
it's Vader.
He's supposed to be the Super Jedi. I mean,
Well, Starkiller is actually a Super Jedi.
Yeah, he pulls down a Star Destroyer and crashes
true.
it.
Yeah.
Crashes it.
So, that whole scene, that whole dogfight was just amazing. The ghost going in at it, I thought was just incredible fighting there.
I
And when they...
I thought it was kind of stupid, to be truthful with you.
Really?
Well, the ghost doesn't seem like it should be maneuverable enough to... It doesn't seem like it could put up with a TIE fighter like that. It could fight.
It's a B-29 against the German measures.
Well, I'll give you that, yeah. It was a little bigger than it should have been able to maneuver the way it was.
Right.
But, the fact that they called the rest of the Phoenix Squadron over, and by the way, they got the Phoenix Squadron obliterated.
Oh, they did. They lost a major ship. They lost.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, if the Ghost hadn't called the rest of the squadron in, they might have been able to scatter and save themselves, but no. We'll call them in and make sure they really get killed this time.
And the captain of the ship, they won't let it go. Right?
Yeah,
we will not lose our command ship.
Yeah.
How can our whole best squadron get bested by one ship?
Apparently, you don't know anything about the Jedi.
I guess not.
Or the Sith, for that matter. So we have that whole connection where they reach out and they get that connection with Vader. And
Ahsoka passes out.
We didn't hear her say anything before she passed out, did we?
No,
she just kind of screamed and fell over.
See, it would have been better if she'd have gone Master or something like that, and then...
Well, then the problem is...
They'd ask
the
questions.
people right there would have heard what she said, and she's keeping his identity a secret.
Even if she just said Annie or Star Guy or whatever she
I was actually waiting for her to go Sky Guy, something like that, and then pass out. That would have been cool.
Yeah.
If she didn't have gone like Sky Guy and passed out, and then I'd been like, it wasn't bad. It didn't. It's like,
I imagine
you still
that-
get the connection. You're still smart enough to figure it out.
I
But it just would have had that cool effect to throw that in there.
I imagine that towards the end of this particular idea, Ahsoka and Vader are going to battle to the death, and she's going to lose. And Vader's last word's going to be, "Now I have defeated you. This is the end."
No, I don't. Nope.
No.
That's way too far ahead to predict. We got to see where the season goes.
I still think they're saving her for a movie at some point.
Yeah, you think she's going to live and that she'll show up as a character in the new trilogy?
She's going to be Rogue One.
Yeah, we're Gary and I have a theory.
Well, Rogue One is still around this time period.
Right. That's our theory. That's why Rogue One would fit in.
Yeah.
If she's Rogue One eventually, it would totally fit.
It would be neat to see her.
It's one of the spin-off films that they're doing.
It would be interesting to see her come in as a live action character.
Principal photography for Rogue One starts
in like 3 weeks or something. Next week, yeah,
Principal
very soon.
photography starts next week. So
exciting times.
Okay,
and just for the record, if she does become Rogue One, you heard it here first.
Yes, again, we are calling all of these plot points.
I'll do another mic drop.
Side note.
I'm going to be buying a lot of mics, I think.
Side note. What is principal photography? Yes, I know I need to know this for the world, but what is principal photography?
When they do all the main shooting.
They start filming.
Right, they start filming. So
okay.
We go on and Vader makes the connection and he tries to go after him.
Well, yeah, they distract the Vader long enough to focus on them. He's like, I want them now because he detected his old learner, his Padawan.
Yep.
And the rest of the Phoenix Squadron and the Rebels are able to jettison out of the hurt main ship, get into the others, and take off into hyperspace.
Right.
And then there's a pretty nice moment they do where she flies the Ghost right at the Star Destroyers, timing it perfectly, knowing they're going to lock onto her.
Yeah, with the tractor beams and everything.
And she basically passes and jumps to hyperspace just at the right time when she knows they're going to lock the tractor beams, and they catch Vader right behind them. And it was actually I thought that was a nice moment.
I was waiting for Vader just to go, "You idiots," and start choking the two
my favorite
generals
moment
on
is
side.
the moment between the officer and the deck crewman who's like, "We just caught Vader's ship." Well, we won't tell him I did that. You're the one responsible.
Which I think is kind of funny because I don't think he's really choked anybody yet.
He hasn't. It would have been funny if he was in that.
No, what I think is foreshadowing of how many of these incompetent officers are.
Yeah.
How many times they do something to him till he finally snaps and just starts choking him to death, You
failed me for the last time. Snap.
I would love.
It's been so funny if you'd have walked on the deck and been like, "I knew it. I'm surrounded by."
And then pulls a Ramsey. "You idiot!" Just backslaps him.
So that is our ending. He comes back onto the ship. He says, "Clear the bridge."
Yep.
He kneels. There's the Emperor projection showing up, and they have a nice
that's the ironic thing.
conversation.
Did you catch that? They didn't show
You just
the
hear- you
Emperor.
just hear
That's
the
true.
voice.
You just hear the voice.
him. I was like, what do they have to gain by not showing
I don't know.
him? It's
Something
not like we
interesting.
don't know it's him. You know what I mean? I don't know.
To
but
provide an
Directorial choice,
Yeah, maybe.
just something to add to the
it
scene.
provided
makes him seem
a darker-
evil, more
Well, he's
evil.
probably recovering from the battle with Yoda Savage.
Or Savage. And he tells him, "Hey, my Padawan is alive."
Yeah.
So
And
it's
it's interesting
He
that
actually-
Palpatine Sidious doesn't know. He's like, "Are you sure?"
right.
And he says, "Yes." He says, "Then this works in our favor." And he wants
But
to capture
here's
her.
the part I found interesting. He didn't send Vader after her in the Rebels. No, go get an Inquisitor.
Yeah.
Send him in. What?
I think it's because he's too close to the matter.
It could be.
Oh, okay.
Emotional.
I can't
problems.
I can't agree with what Austin's saying, but I think that's mostly the fact that they're concentrating on the rebels, not Ahsoka.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Try to drag
Yeah,
him
but
out
she's
of
a
the-
Jedi. I would think he'd want to hunt them down, right? Like, isn't that
That's his
Vader's
job. But it's also Inquisitor's
They
jobs.
mentioned
oh, yeah, it's
they
true.
mentioned that she could lead them to other living Jedi, and he mentions and Kenobi.
Yeah. So
Oh,
he
yeah.
could,
So he knows some things, but he mentions it. Sorry, he mentions it in third person. He never mentions his name. He mentions third person Anakin Skywalker. Sorry.
And not only that, but it's they're not considering her a master.
Right. No,
She's
because she
still-
was only a learner when she left. Right. Okay, so that's pretty much the episode. That was it.
yeah.
So, what did you guys think of this episode?
Who's first?
I don't care. Who wants
Austin,
to
go
go first?
first.
Austin, you go first this time.
I'd have to say a really big 9. It was the fight scenes, the fact that Vader threw them around, the fact of all the elements together. It starts to look better. I'm actually interested in seeing next season. I actually want next season to come quicker.
Do you think this would get people interested that weren't interested in
Yes.
Rebels before?
I think if someone was giving up last season, if they watched this episode, I think they'd probably at least come back for the beginning to see if it maintains for the beginning of this
The
season.
intensity that
Yeah.
we just saw.
If
Yeah.
it doesn't, I am going to be sorely disappointed.
You're going to be disappointed.
Because you just don't have faith in it.
No.
So, Gary, what'd you think? So, what would you get out of 10, Ira Austin?
did. He said
you get
9.
9, right? Okay.
I'll give it a 7.
Okay.
All right.
That's high for Gary.
Yeah, it is.
It is.
But nobody got killed.
And the only reason, yeah, it did.
Who did?
The minister.
Blown up.
Minister?
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Okay.
And some of the troopers.
There's your one death.
And a lot of A-wing pilots.
That's true.
Well, we never
And
saw the
troopers.
minister dead.
yeah.
What if
What if she's alive?
she's alive? Part of it.
So,
And some of the troopers got killed, like the one that Kanan knocked out.
she can come back with crab legs.
Did she like go to Red Lobster?
No, she went,
I brought crab legs.
she went to the Sith Witch.
Yeah, there you go. See?
Somehow she's still alive.
The only reason why I got so high is because of Vader. If Vader wasn't in it,
You think it'd have been lower?
it'd have been a 3.
Okay. All right, so I guess it's my turn. I actually give this one a 9, a solid 9. I liked it. It had a Star Wars feel to it. For the first time after having watched the whole season of Rebels, where I was kind of like, and I was waiting, and I was waiting, and I was waiting, and nothing was happening. This one finally felt like a Star Wars episode.
Right.
From beginning to end. And the music fit, and everything just kind of worked, and it felt good. It
Right.
felt good.
Okay.
It felt like a good Star Wars episode. And, you know, the blocking you always talk about, it was much better. It was much better compared to last season.
Yeah, let me give my review when I get there. So
Okay. So, Eric, what do you think?
I'm going to give it an 8. It was a good episode. It was a very good episode. I still have issue with the blocking because everyone's standing 5 feet away from each other in these rooms, and they're just not hitting each other. And there was the sequence where Kanan kind of was jumping from Callus, shooting at him. We're seeing it from Callus's point of view, and he kind of just sits down and slides behind a box, and I can still see his head. It's like he's not even hidden. So whoever is doing the choreography of this, they really need to put somebody else in there blocking these scenes out.
Yeah.
I liked the plot because the plot was multi-layered. I liked Vader's plan being, not only was it to put them to blame for this, it was to actually let them escape twice.
Yeah.
Not just the first time.
Purposefully.
Yeah, he knew that they would try to do it a second time so they'd really feel like they had done it. And therefore they were safe and good. It was a risky plan because who knows if they were going to switch out of that shuttle and take something else, but, it worked. Vader was excellent. And let's face it, no one's even mentioned it yet. James Earl Jones was
as
back
the voice
doing
of
the
Vader
voice,
was
and
just-
every
I didn't
time
know that.
the
Yeah.
sentences, the emphasis on
There
the
was
words, it
just
was
something
Vader.
about the way he phrases sentences.
Yeah.
James Earl Jones, you can't do it.
And
Nobody can do it.
It was awesome. There have been other
didn't
Vaders,
realize that.
who do the voices and stuff, and it wasn't that good. This was awesome. Here's the thing: if it wasn't James Earl Jones, I didn't even look. But if it wasn't James Earl
Oh, it
Jones,
was.
I'd be highly surprised. But anyway, So him and the gravity of that character, his power, stuff like that, the tie-in with Ahsoka sensing him at the end, it does lead to some interesting things. I worry again that is it only working for me because they're now leaning heavily on pre-existing things? Here's Vader. Here's Lando. Talk about Grand Moff Tarkin.
Are people only going to come back to this show because of the Ahsoka Vader thing, or are they actually going to come back because they care about the crew?
Yes, I'm still feeling like Zeb
That's a worry
and all that stuff. Ezra maybe a little something interesting might happen there. Kanan is still toast to me with no butter on it. He's just bland. He needs something.
Toast with no butter. I love that.
He's
Melba toast.
Yeah, he's Melba toast. And you don't even have salsa to dip it in. It's like nothing.
Is it with blue milk?
He needs something for me to catch on to him. He's just not there yet. And so I'm actually liking Hera better than him because she's at least taking a side and saying,
well,
this is what I want to do.
The ironic thing is we don't know a lot about Hera's past, and I feel like she's a more developed Hera than he is.
Yeah.
How does that happen? We know more about his past, but he's not very well developed.
He's a Jedi who doesn't seem that wise, and I'm just waiting for something.
He said there was something wrong with his master. There was something wrong with him and his master training that we mentioned back in season 1.
Well, I remember there was the whole...
I'm trying to think, is that something influencing now?
They need to explain it. They need to give us something, or show the fact that he's flawed and why.
My theory on his whole background is he got his master killed.
I'm wondering if that's
and that'd be great.
That's what I'm...
You know what would be cool is like if his master was somebody like Quinlan Voss or somebody like that. You know, he was kind of on the outs...
Nah,
but he didn't know. But somebody like that. I'm not saying Voss himself, but somebody like that who maybe was on the outskirts of the Order. Maybe he wasn't in with the Order, and he got him killed by accident, and nobody cared about Kanan because it was a master nobody gave a crud about. You get what I'm saying? So that Kanan gets left off on the side, and nobody gives a crud. You know?
Do you think because they mentioned Kenobi in this, they're hinting that at some point Kenobi's going to appear in Rebels as well?
I'm pretty sure he's gonna. But I go back to, that's my fear that we've talked about a million times. Are we going to continue to use people like Lando Calrissian and Han Solo and other people to keep the show going?
Throw in 3PO, throw in
just
R2.
Just because that's the only thing that's going to keep the show going.
Yeah.
Because right now, people don't have a connection to half these characters.
Yeah.
I don't have an emotional connection to Zeb.
Some may. Some people, I'm sure there's fans out there who are very into it, but it's not doing it for me.
It just doesn't feel like it.
What I think we need is an entire mini series. Kind of like what they did back with G.I. Joe and that stuff, devoted to each character.
I'm not even sure that would help.
They need to be doing it in this show. Yeah. That's what they need to be doing, and it's just not there yet.
It's like with Clone Wars. I felt emotional connection with Ahsoka Tano from the moment you saw her.
And she was a brand new character.
She zips down off that ship and says, "What's up, Sky Guy?" I was bought right there because there's some character.
It's like Sabine. I don't know what... to think about
she's
her.
So weird in such a weird place.
We already know Captain Rex, Captain Wolf, Captain Gregor's going to be coming in.
Yeah, it's an old Captain Rex. Yep, we know that.
Hondo and Naka and all that are all going to be coming
back from Clone Wars. Yep.
Why are they bringing them in?
Again, because I don't think we're building a connection with these people. We have more of a connection with Hondo and Naka. Think about that. More of a connection with Hondo and Naka than we do with Zeb. What
Zeb should be a great character.
That's what I'm saying.
And it's just not there.
Think about Chewie. When he first came out, everybody flocked to that character. Loved that character. Zeb comes out.
He's a poor man Chewbacca.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, people saw it for what it was, you know?
I don't like Chopper because he's a poor R2.
Right.
It wouldn't be fun to see the captains from Clone Wars train the other rebellions to fight.
I'm sure that's
because
they'll bring them in doing stuff like that.
The clones did train the stormtroopers, did they not? No, according to the books.
No.
So I'm
going to go even further because the Mandalorian's training the clones.
Yeah.
Well, that's all been retconned.
Yeah.
Bounty hunters.
That's not canon
Bounty
anymore.
Hunters were supposed to be training them, but that's not canon anymore.
So that's my problem with the episode. I can give it an 8 because on its own it's very entertaining, but I have these lingering fears that it's not self-sustaining.
Okay.
Now this new Sith Inquisitor that they mentioned at the end.
Interesting to see
where we go with that.
He or she has to be kick-ass.
Yeah. And I want to know.
It would be fun if they threw in, is Marta J considered an
No,
Inquisitor?
I hope not.
No.
I hope,
Okay.
I
And
hope
here's
it-
the thing.
But she's the Emperor's hand, not an Inquisitor.
Yeah, and here's the thing. The old Inquisitor let himself go so easily.
Yeah, I know.
There's got to be something there with him coming back or something. Did he
know.
die?
What?
Was he dead? Definitely. I don't.
Yeah,
I mean,
he blew up in the.
I assume, but it just seemed like such a weak
Poor
way
man's
to go
way to go out, right? I'm sorry, they did to him what they did to Kit Fisto.
Yeah.
That's what they did.
Slice
Or
him in
they
the
Kit
skull.
Fisto'd that
Or
character.
Darth Maul him. If I mean,
Darth Maul, well, yeah.
before the Clone
No,
Wars. But,
yeah.
Well, you can go as far as say Mace, but I still think Mace is going to make a return.
No, I agree.
With the
It would
robotic
be-
arm.
Yep.
It would be awesome if Mace came back in either A in the Force Awakens or B in here.
The problem is with all these
No.
characters, if they come back,
He
you're
won't come
just
back in
like,
the movie.
man, no one dies in this show.
Right? Like, we can't kill anybody.
You have to see a body or a big
Yeah.
huge explosion.
Actually, they have to be burned at the stake, is what we've discovered in Star
that?
Wars. They have to be just burned at the stake, and then we know they're
I need
dead.
to do a comic where it's like no character dies in Star Wars, and there's like a shriveled up, burned Baru, just like I'm okay.
We're good. We can keep going. Look, I can still make dinner.
And the Ewok that Gary the Stormtrooper killed.
Right.
and then there's Dad's Ewok ears on his Mando. He's standing on top of a dead one.
Zombie Ewoks. Okay, all right. So that's what we thought of this episode of Rebels.
This
And
extra large episode, but there was a lot to talk about.
We'd love to hear what you have to say about San Diego Comic-Con, about Star Wars Rebels, about every trailer that's come out from, now until Doomsday. It just seems like the apocalypse is now.
Yeah, and,
It's just amazing.
And Hondo, give us their feedback on our theories and stuff that we talked about.
And for crying out loud, would somebody from Comic Book Men write us,
Yeah,
Seriously.
Please.
I'm begging for you. Yeah, I'm even want to hear from Walt. I actually just said that.
Oh,
Yeah, I want him to explain.
No.
I want him to
Yeah.
explain the Thundercats.
well, he doesn't know the
So-
Thundercats.
All right, so as we always like to hear and say here in the Star Production Studios,
May the Force be with those who listen.
and those who give a crap.
Yeah, make sure you stop your video too.
I'm going to.
That's not 2:30. Like I said, I do 5